Recording in progress.
Today is October 28th. This is the Crestone Town Board of Trustees meeting. It's being held both in person and via Zoom. Time is 9:34. To ensure timely completion of the town's business, the following procedures will be followed. All participants must keep their microphones muted and video turned off, except during citizen comments or when called on to speak by the board. Per section 7.3 of our rules and procedures of order, procedures and rules of order, we allow 15 minutes for total, 15 minutes total for citizens' comments. Each speaker has up to 3 minutes to speak. Please state your name and address before speaking. If your comments exceed 3 minutes or the allotted time expires, please send your comments to town hall as a correspondence for the board's response. Multiple citizens share the same comments. Please be brief. Unspoken comments can be submitted to town hall for inclusion as correspondence at the next regular meeting. All right, roll call, please.
Mayor Byer,
Here.
Mayor Pro Tempore Kinney,
Here.
Trustee Oglesby, here, Trustee Pazuzi,
Here.
and Clerk Blackwell.
Okay, we're on to the vision statement. Dana, will you read that, please?
This is the new one. Historic Crestone, Colorado exemplifies small mountain town beauty within a community committed to multi-generational well-being. The town continues to celebrate its pioneering spirit and unique diversity through contemporary self-reliance. Crestone's goals are to enhance economic viability, environmental preservation, sustainable living practices, and social responsibility.
Thank you, Dana. Next is approval of agenda. Any changes, comments, concerns, deletions?
Do we need to make a note on it?
Yeah, so we're gonna take off the executive session that for some reason is on there, that's not supposed to be on there, which is under.
New business.
Yeah.
13, okay.
Ariel said that the attorney told her to put that on every agenda.
Oh, okay. I left my pen in.
I have to go for 15 or 20 minutes at 11.
Okay.
So if we can make the public hearing
When you get back.
after that.
Okay. So are we gonna just replace a executive session with Nathan so that you can?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. Well, actually, I wanna change something real quick before we. I want to move, 14 old business E. John Mamakis, say, we just say it's like.
Mamanakis?
Mamanakis.
I say it wrong too.
Do you?
Mamanakis.
Mamanakis.
I say.
Mamanakis. We're gonna move him all the way to the top, even before Nathan.
Okay,
So I'm gonna make it him A. And then Nathan B. And there's a reason for that. And then. Public hearing, are we prepared for the public hearing enough that we're gonna be able to do this properly? You guys feel confident or,
for the budget,
huh?
for the supplemental
2024, yeah.
budget?
Cause the only other option would be to put it on a regular, I mean,
I mean, I don't,
I'm sorry, go ahead.
at this point in time, I don't care if we don't even do it ever, so,
on the budget.
yeah. But if we need to do it, then we should do it.
I think
Or
we might be opening ourselves up to, you know, if we're not totally ready for it. And we can, if we put it out there now, then we can have it can we have it for the next regular meeting, or would that be too?
I don't know that you can, because I have to notice it
Right.
for today.
30 days in advance.
Oh, well, we're gonna do it then, I guess.
I mean, if you wanna wait till the end of December, when we're closer to actuals, then we can put more attention on it.
What do you think?
in light of some of the stuff that possibly the new
Yeah,
auditor, not auditor, but might find, maybe we should just postpone it until the next possible reading, which would be November, end of November.
which we have the 2025 budget at the end of
but
November.
we can do that too, right? We're gonna do them together.
Sure. Or, sure, or wait until December.
For the supplemental.
I think it's a good idea. We have a lot of stuff that's kind of coming to light.
Yeah,
So let's do that.
Alright.
Wait till the end of December for it.
Yes,
Or,
but notice it properly and get it out there again. Sorry, the
again, it could be the first meeting in December.
regular meeting.
Yeah, cause the second meeting in December, I don't even know if we'll have. Would be the holidays and all that. I'm not sure what the date is.
The second in December,
last,
you'll be having a regular on the 9th and just special on the 23rd.
Yeah. May or may not.
So B is now taken off. We're gonna just get going now.
But to clarify, are we deciding to have the supplemental public hearing on the first meeting in December?
Let's, if we're gonna do one for the regular budget, then let's just do that let's do the supplemental after
The same day or next meeting?
the next meeting.
Okay, so the first meeting in December
Okay.
would be a public hearing for the supplemental.
And then obviously you're gonna be noticing, you probably notice both, just to,
the 23rd of December will be that next meeting, and that's just prior to Christmas Eve and Christmas.
No, but right, but we're saying the 9th of December.
Sounds good to me.
good. That makes me feel better.
And
Let's,
are we presenting the 2025 budget at the next meeting? So on the
At
11th,
the next special meeting.
next special meeting, okay.
That's public hearing. We've already kind of presented
Yeah.
it. But we'll have to do some work in the next 2 weeks and then actually put something out for people to read before that public hearing. So I think 5 days before or something.
yeah, I think in this next month, we're gonna really.
Yeah.
Be ready, once we're ready. Okay,
So make a motion that we approve the agenda with the changes.
Second.
more discussion, all in favor?
Bye.
So next we're on to approval of the minutes. Thank you for those thorough minutes. They're very good. We're always very impressed. I didn't see anything that was, maybe I'm just,
I just had one.
so we're gonna start with the approval of the October 14th minutes.
Yeah, I did.
Is that right? Or
It's October 14th.
14th? I think, one thing is, oh no, I picked that back.
On 14, old business, living wisdom stop order. The last paragraph. When I said he expressed concern that it is unfortunate that you put neighbors, and actually that was that the CP board members paid out of pocket, so it wasn't the neighbors.
Okay, so.
Do we
Was
need
wasn't that the other meeting? That was
the 14th?
was that the 14th?
Is that the date?
Is that right?
Uh,
It was the 14th that we talked about that? Okay.
yeah, I think it came up at the,
Do we? This looks like a lot of work. Do we need them to be this thorough? Or want them to be this thorough?
Well, I mean, we went both ways with it. You know, I remember when it was not thorough enough and then we asked for more, being more thorough, and then I think we should leave it and just read it and,
I mean, this is a lot of work for you.
I do either, I would like them to be more or less, if try to find a balance too, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, if there's a balance, I mean, some things, you know. Like even my report doesn't have to be that. Cause I'm gonna give you the report, so it goes in the packet, so people, if they wanted to read it, they could read it. I don't know if I gave it to you last time, but I will.
I make a motion to approve the October 14th minutes.
Is there a second?
Second,
Oh, Adam beat you to it. All in favor? Aye. Okay, next is the October 18th minutes. It was a special meeting.
I make a motion, we approve the minutes from October 18th.
Second, anybody?
I'll second that.
Dennis? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Their discussion.
Yeah, no, I wasn't here,
Okay, then you can,
so I think I need to,
well, we need a quorum to pass it, so I would just,
I think they look great.
okay, next we have, citizens' comments. Hearing, seeing none on Zoom. Anybody want to do a comment? Nathan, you're just gonna do your presentation as.
It's best that way,
Okay,
thank you.
then we have the presentation of the bills.
We did that the other night.
The only one that we had that was, well, there's two. One was,
Organization on the thing as well.
well, the attorney was one, and then Allison's has to be signed too. Sorry? Good, Allison?
They're all, I think Adam can do the website.
I know, but Allison wasn't in there.
Oh, no, I don't have options.
She dropped it off. That's for. Will you check with the Patty real quick?
These have all been approved.
Right, this is the only one, not. You were here, I'll let you take a look at it. I know that he said that he did 18 hours and we're only being charged for 15. I remember him saying that. But I don't remember getting a detailed report on it.
A month since you paid it was.
Paid
It
him that
feels
much.
like it was yesterday.
It always, yeah, 'cause it's a big bill. I mean, it's over our budget.
Pardon me?
Is it over our budget?
By over $1,000.
But this is, but I mean, in general,
Oh,
are we over our attorney's, allocation?
I don't know. Yeah,
probably.
I mean,
We allocated 28,000. We might have raised it a couple now.
Yay. I think we're just gonna go with Seth. Did he said anything detailed? Okay, so this is Allison. Needs to be signed by me and then and then paid, and then she gets reimbursed minus 10%.
minus 10%.
It gets held back by the grant itself,
For,
and then we get,
this is for the mitigation
Mitigation.
grant, okay.
and she's done way more work than that out.
So we pay her and then we get reimbursed
We get
minus 10%,
minus 10%,
Okay.
but then we get the 10%, but after the grant's done.
right? So they just kind of keep that as blackmail.
Yeah.
That's what we should finish.
Yeah. That's it.
How much is it?
1,000. I'm gonna sign it right now. Okay. And then there was one other thing with Allison that needs to be just, she has those contracts that still need to be signed, so maybe we'll get a hold of them.
Yeah, I have a, it needs to be a signature.
Okay. I'd like to entertain a motion for.
Well, I think,
Huh?
I think we told ourselves a meeting ago or two that we would cap Seth at 10 hours, and he would have to tell us he's at 10 hours and stop doing work, so that we would get the lesson that we have to stop asking him to do stuff.
This is true.
So I think we need to do that again, tell him that again, maybe we didn't tell him.
I could tell them again, and I have the.
Which, according to you, he's getting busy.
I didn't, he made a reference to it, he didn't say directly that he was getting busier, but he said that things are changing in his office and he's, shifting over some of the work that, but I got it, that he's on his way to retirement. That's what I got. But yeah, do you wanna, I mean, we need to, I think this last month, putting the living wisdom thing on, and then also still working on the CPCH thing and all that's, not CPCH, Crestone about the water thing, we're just. So maybe it will lessen up as soon as we're done with this stuff, but, he really does need to detail his hours. Which I think he did, right? Did he do it, or
Sorry.
did Seth detail his hours?
Not sure this page.
I specifically remember him saying that he set it in our minutes, that he said he did 18 hours and he said he's only charging us for 15, but I got. What is, you know,
I thought that was the previous,
was it?
yeah.
Other than this one, and then that was the bill for it, that's what I'm getting.
Was there a motion regarding the bills?
Not yet.
I'll make a motion that we pay the attorney and the,
Well,
her title is she the mitigation manager?
she's manager and administrator. So,
Okay,
we just pay the bill, we just make a motion to pay for it, because, we approved them, we approved them in the meeting, but then this is where we actually.
make a motion that we pay both those.
All. Is there a second?
Second,
Discussion, all in favor?
Alright,
Aye. Okay, moving on to treasurer's report, is there anything you want to report on?
I didn't, treasurer's report, but, payroll went out with some hiccups that were resolved eventually. And we had to go in more detail. Water and sewer billing also went out as well without issue, and I met with the finance committee to discuss what I could be doing. So as soon as I have a chance to talk to Patty and Brent, we'll work on doing the half billing for water sewer so that we can get caught up. I think that's all.
there's something, I don't know if it would go on treasurer's report or finance committee. We had discussion on the HUD fund and how much money was coming to us and when. And I've gotten on their website and saw that we were missed a couple of payments, starting from July, August, and I'm gonna take a guess and say September and October as well. The reason why I made a couple of phone calls this morning, reason is there's some paperwork that had not been filed by the previous treasurer, and that needs to be done as quickly as it can.
to receive payments?
Yes, I believe her name is Michelle, and she is with the Saguache County Road and Bridge Department. And I told her that someone from our office would be calling her. she'll help us through, or has the paperwork, or we'll do both, give us the paperwork and help us through that. So, but that needs to be done ASAP because we're already.
And they said they would give us the payments retroactively?
Yes,
Okay.
yeah,
I thought, didn't we have didn't we have some problem with the hub thing, and I thought it got resolved? They were holding,
There's something else, I think, that we had problems with, it has to do with that credit card.
right, okay,
not, this is the county road and bridge
Right.
stuff.
Okay, so,
So-
yeah, maybe Patty could even do it.
Right, the quicker we can get it done, the quicker we'll get the money in our coffers.
thanks for calling them.
Yeah, thank you.
Patty was a bookkeeper, I think, for somebody in Salida before.
He's helping a lot.
For doing, she was doing
Right.
their payroll.
So we're basically, treasurer is treasurer's office. Now, isn't it? You know, so like you're able to run it as the office as opposed to like I mean, you have the role, but we're also, you know, you're also the clerk, so it's kind of a lot of extra. So run it as an office is what I'm trying to say, you know, with Patty's help. Okay, next is the finance committee's report.
I mean, we're all here, except for, I guess you weren't there the other night, but what did we do? We started,
Went through the supplemental budget, or
We made some corrections to
right, we took the draft that Ken had provided us for the 2025 and reworked it and made a lot of cuts and a few increases in revenue and expenses. And then we also hung out with Andrea, who's what are we calling her?
I call it the accountant.
The new accountant. And gave her some direction and let her listen to some of our concerns and Warren's concerns. And it seems like she's gonna probably do an awesome job, but I guess we'll find out. And as far as I could tell, where we got to with the 2025 budget was there's a few more line items that we need clarity on, and they could be anywhere from $20,000 to $40,000. But unless I did my math wrong, it looked like our revenue was $70,000 more than our expenses. So that was pretty awesome. But again, with things that we adjust, that's gonna change. I don't think it's gonna change by 70,000, but I guess we'll see. So I guess that reminds me, I feel like I probably need to take this information that we put together and sit with you for half an hour and input that data into QuickBooks. And see if we can generate a report. Does that seem like?
It's all good.
Okay, so I think we would probably do that as soon as possible. And then I don't know if we'll be able to put together a properly formatted draft or if we'll need Andrea's help for that. But we should have that soon, and then I guess we should have a finance committee meeting as soon as we have that. So maybe
My
like
report,
early next week.
We also had the discussion on, as Ariel had said earlier, about the mid-month meter reading. And you're gonna put a PSA out to let folks know that might be happening, that will be happening.
And just so you know, Warren, today we postponed the public hearing, so it's gonna be next month. We're not ready.
May I make a brief
Yeah, because you're,
counter? I believe there are several substantial numbers that are not in the 25
budget,
that need to be looked
will you still meet with us
at.
and?
So, happy to meet this. And I couldn't make it for citizens' comments. If I may apologize to Adam publicly for Let's leave it as being really rude,
That's nice.
and he was a gentleman.
Until the end.
You were still there.
But I think it's pretty awesome that I think it was 2 years ago, we had no idea what we were gonna do, and I think things look really, really, really bad. And at this point in time, if we have a budget that's anywhere close to, I mean, like I said, $70,000 net income, of course, there's gonna be adjustments. So even if that becomes a $30,000 or $10,000 net income, that's significantly better than where we were even.
Yeah, well, we were dipping into our, not reserves, but
Well,
our,
our 2024 budget was like zero. It just was, and we didn't have enough money to pay for operations. So
when do you guys want to meet again? When's the next,
I feel like I should do that with Ariel
Okay.
this week, and the big, first half of next week would be.
you in town? Yeah.
We somewhere.
All right, well, we gotta do it as a work session and notice it properly. Yeah.
Then let's schedule that.
Did you say next week?
Yeah.
Right in the beginning of next week.
Mhm.
Halloween. So we have like I like the evening that works, and you know, like we're hungry maybe.
I think I'm done with sandwich on Tuesday, so either Monday or Wednesday.
We're gonna be in Denver on
We do Monday
Wednesday.
night,
Is Monday the planning commission?
huh?
Monday is planning.
Oh, planning commission,
We could do Wednesday.
Wednesday,
Mhm.
sound good in the evening?
Evening like 5 or evening like 6.
5.
5. I'm calling it a work session.
Yeah, sorry, couldn't make it to the last one.
Okay.
So you say next week, are you talking the first,
Say the 6th,
the sixth? Okay, good.
good?
Yeah.
Good for you, alright? Okay, very good. So that's a work session for budget, 2024 and 2025, 2024 supplemental. And we're gonna probably have to meet a couple more times to get everything set. But we're making,
Who's reaching out to Randy before next week?
I'll try again. I asked, did you, no? I will reach out again. You're talking about for grant stuff? Next is my report. Are we done with finance committee report?
Yeah.
Okay. My report is kind of informal. I'm gonna read a little bit. I've been working with Andrea this weekend after signing her contract. She talked with our auditor and he hasn't even been able to start the 2023 audit. So she asked permission to look and work on 2023. And I gave her permission. I sent her the 2022 audit so that she could start with that number. I'm very impressed by her thoroughness, her efficiency, and her effectiveness. Her report says she worked on Saturday. Warren is right, it's quite a mess. You're right,
Don't want it.
huh?
I don't want it.
I know, but we're getting it back.
What do you mean, Warren's right?
He was right, it's
We
quite a
give
mess.
him some space to talk to her and share his concerns.
Okay.
And she's now looking back on 23 and she's seeing it's quite a mess.
Oh,
So, but it's gonna be a lot easier if she has 23 to go into 24 and clean it up, and she's willing to do it, and she's gonna do it. The chart of accounts is a mess, and assume simplifying it would be helpful. She got the books adjusted so that 1/1/23 numbers match 12/31/22 audit. I did not change any activity, just did adjusting entries. The revenues and expenses in QuickBooks don't even start to match the audit, so not really sure what in the world happened there. I did start fixing some stuff that was obvious in 2023. Started prepping a budget sheet for you all. There are reconciliation discrepancies recorded, is bold, never good. That simply means she, being the previous treasurer, couldn't figure out how to reconcile the banks, so gave up and entered an adjustment. Because of that, I would like to go back to 1/1/23 and do bank reconciliation. There is no revenue recorded for water bill, water sewer. Which is kind of weird. I assume your residents have to pay water, sewer, trash bills. We don't trash, but water, sewer. So I'm gonna have Ariel, I'm gonna ask you to go and work with her on that and figure out what's up with that. Why, I think in 23 was the year we switched over. What did we do exactly? When did we actually take all that account and put it into our
We
account?
were preparing the 24 budget.
So that's why it's not in, there's not a separate,
It's,
but it still should be in there.
yeah,
Yeah,
right.
as income. Whew, okay, there's more, but I'm tapped out for the day. The balance sheet in QuickBooks also quite a mess. You are all going to be very relieved when it's fixed. I can't even make sense of the reporting because it's just so wrong. I see a nice smile. Got a good person though.
I think we have a good person.
You talked to her, Warren?
I talked to her. And, I think you have somebody that's gonna be thorough and get things fixed.
Great.
But she can only fix what she knows is, what she sees is wrong, not leaving the things that I believe are missing going into 24.
But do you think that with 23 and 24 basically in good shape?
No,
No, because there's just stuff missing, but I mean, isn't the bank accounts stuff that's, you're talking about income, right?
I'm leaving her to find what she's finding.
Oh.
She's already found stuff that we were told has been corrected and is wrong. So,
Did you talk to her outside of this session?
no,
Okay,
no,
'cause we're-
and everything I talked to her was at the Zoom
Yeah.
meeting, at the financial thing,
Shouldn't,
and as she said, you close all, the books that are closed. You're not gonna go back and deal with that.
right,
My opinion, that's not right, but the past is the past, and you gotta go somewhere. So go forward.
well, 22, we could, once it's been audited, I know that there was probably a lot of, the
22's been audited, and
Right.
I have serious problems with that, but that's,
right, and
it's past. So give up, move on,
well, let's get back on track.
and she'll get you there.
That's great. And, yeah,
But we did, yeah, I mean, it's a learning lesson for everybody. And I know that, sometimes the way Warren says things comes across a certain way, but in general, you do know what you're talking about and no, you do know what you're talking about. And sometimes we do, it's just a mix. We gotta be able to work with our complaints and we gotta be able to work with our, what our mistakes really that we've made, because we have made a lot of mistakes and we're all amateurs and we're all learning and learning to be professional and it's just part of the deal. So we're not, nobody here claimed to be professional. This woman does, and that's good.
yeah. That is
Okay, moving on. The cemetery, I sent the files that I got from the surveyor, which are those CAD files, I sent them to the engineer, Matt Hudson, and he was asking me questions that were, I didn't know, but they were basically questions like, how big of a plot size do we want to have and all this stuff, and I don't know all this stuff yet, so Ariel and I are gonna have to sit down and get on a Zoom meeting with him and start to get a little more understanding of what he can do and whether he can do it for us. if, you know, if we have to go out for bid or whatever. So we have money in the budget for next year to work on this, so it's gonna be a pretty good movement in the right direction, and I think that, once we have this cemetery expansion and we advertise it and stuff, people are gonna start stepping up and wanting to buy plots, and it's gonna be a cool process, but we wanna get it right before then. I wanna direct Ariel, I talked to her the other night about it, but we need to make sure that you call the county and talk about the unpaid water and sanitation bills and make sure that we, get those liens taken care of. If, hopefully we're not too late. And then we need to send out some sort of thing in the next, you know, billing cycle that says that if you have unpaid water bills that are, what do you guys think, like 3 months, 2 months even unpaid, or how does that work?
What is like, if you have a water bill that's late by 3 months, then,
We have stuff that's carried over from last year, I think, and that's not good, so
How late could you be on a mortgage payment?
you can't be late. Maybe 5 days, they give you a little 5-day grace period. So let's,
but I mean, are we gonna fine people? Is that,
no, they get liens,
or they pay their?
or they pay,
Okay.
we need to figure out the process, whether they pay us or they pay the county, once we have a lien in there, or they pay us and then we take the lien off, is what I assume happens.
Yeah,
But that's a very important process that we have to learn. Don't.
Do you know why people are late? Was it billing or?
No, I don't know 100% why, but,
I'm always late.
I'm like,
I'm late right now, I know I am.
I actually wrote a check and we can't find it, so that's kind of weird, after another, but that's probably why I'm late. Are you late?
When I bought my house, it was 2 years.
Right, I remember that.
I heard.
Yeah.
That was scary, that was kind of scary.
So
I
we've
mean,
also
I'm late
never
because
shut
I
anybody
just-
off, right?
We can't shut people off, the only thing we can do is a lien.
Why can't we shut people off?
Cause people deserve water.
You definitely can't shut off their sewer.
I mean, I'm always late just because I'm just, you know, I'm like, oh, I need to pay my water bill, and then I forget.
Well, you
and then
can-
I'm like,
I
oh, I
mean,
need to pay my water
If you
bill.
have a lien and you're not gonna sell your property, then it doesn't, you know, then you just.
It doesn't really matter.
Well, it does matter, but
It matters later. I'm not trying to not pay my water sewer bill, I just.
alright, so, the bridge, we still have to talk about the bridge at some point, that's a big one, that we have to figure out what we're gonna do about that. I don't know if you wanna put it on an agenda to discuss, but, you know, we're not gonna be able to fix that bridge unless we get a windfall of some sort. Cause we can't go out for bid with it for the feds or the state because their restrictions are gonna be so intense that, you know, it's gonna widen everything, that this is not gonna work, so.
It's gonna be hugely expensive.
Yeah, and if they paid for it, it'd probably be like, I think we said $1.4 million.
Yeah.
And then if we do it ourselves, we could probably get it down to a certain amount, but it's still gonna be expensive.
Still really costly.
If I do it ourselves, you mean the culverts?
Yeah, whatever we do to get it up to, you know, like if we have to replace it, but we actually get the engineer, you know.
Well, what did Randy say? $50,000 of culverts done, 7 days?
That was discussed. Yeah,
Are you talking about Randy from the Swatch County Hot Road and Bridge? I thought he was just shooting from the hip on that. I didn't,
But is that what he said, roughly?
something similar to that, yeah.
Well, doing it ourselves could be actually having Randy come out and really do a bid so that we have something
Yeah.
in writing.
Yeah, he's retiring here in 2 months.
Oh, wow.
and there's a new person that he's breaking in.
We should get him to do that then before he retires.
That's my point. Yeah.
Do you have a communication with him?
Mhm.
Will you ask him if he'll
Sure.
look at it?
Yep.
And then we gotta make sure that it's up to the standard, at least that the, you know, yeah,
Do we need that?
Yeah.
Probably.
but not even beyond the other one. I mean, it's gotta be up to the standard of the people who are certifying it. Right? So you have the people who come out and
Yes,
Is
I see what
Randy,
you're saying. Yeah, I understand what you're saying.
is Randy the engineer at Road and Bridge?
No, he's, I don't know exactly what
Director.
his title is. Yeah, director.
So, yeah, we probably, I mean, do you think having him out is sufficient, or do we need to?
well, I
have
think
like
what
a-
we do is you give the plans, we could see what he says about it.
Mhm.
And then we would turn it over to our town engineer to look at
Yeah,
it.
and you might even say, I don't wanna touch it.
Ooh,
Right.
oh, yeah.
But it's his road,
Mm,
paved road in town.
it's not really his, it's just one that we,
No, it's our. it's
But
ours.
specifically, we wanna ask him about replacing the bridge with culverts, right?
But we probably have to advertise if we're getting bids on
Not if you do, and not if counties can do the work. They're 5% over the cost.
it. Alright, then, sounds great.
So let's ask Randy.
Randy.
okay. So I got cemetery stuff, supplemental budget, audit, yeah, I gotta talk to the other Randy, R-A-N-D-I, Randy Sneed, about getting our retreat stuff, back, you know, our priorities and stuff like that, and she's, I don't know if she's busy, or she's just mad at me, or doesn't wanna talk to me, but, I've texted her a couple times, I don't know if Ariel, did you reach out to her at all, or?
I tried to call him.
Tried to call her, so I don't know, maybe. Last time I thought she was mad at me and she didn't, she was just really busy, so.
So I think we're in the beginning of the next cycle, grand cycle, so then she's pretty busy right now.
Okay. We still need to look at drainage stuff, I don't know if there was a drainage report that we had done, and what year was that? Does anyone? 2005?
14, I believe.
Oh, 14? Is that soon? Oh.
I believe so.
So we wanna dig that back up and really start looking at it as a board. So if we can find that report, please. Do you guys have it, or
I went through the shop, I think.
probably in,
I've got it here, you sent
oh, I
it.
sent it?
Yeah, you sent it to me.
What year is it?
13.
13, okay. Cool, so will you send it back to Ariel,
Sure.
and then you distribute it to us to look at?
There's a bunch.
But there's one report. The one, no? I sent you like a master plan and all that stuff, but. Okay. Next we have, we gotta get this Baca water and sanitation thing done soon. And do we have a public hearing on that? Or what was it? What was it? No,
I don't know, there's nothing scheduled for that, we just ask for you to make the final decision on it.
I asked Kizen to, send all her comments directly to the lawyer, because she had two major comments. But anyway, we gotta get that done soon.
I wonder, we should have a public hearing,
On that,
yeah. I don't know that we're legally required, but, entering into a 20-year contract about people's access to sewer and their monthly fees and the obligations we'll be getting into, wouldn't hurt to.
can we combine public hearings?
I think we could have one right after the other, but we have to give 30 days notice. So that would be the
Yeah, the 25th.
November.
Okay, let's do that. And then if we could get the final updated version from the lawyer, maybe we'll talk, is he coming on today, or is it, no?
No, just for the regular meeting.
So if you could just email him and just tell him that if there's been any more updates, that we want the final update on that immediately.
And that residents should have access to that.
Right. And then we have things that we have to do if we sign that contract. So we, like,
Sewer fee, tap fees,
correct,
what else?
well, it's not really tap fee, it's a, service fee.
Uh-huh. Anything else?
We have to decide how we're gonna deal with our fee schedule and whether we're gonna, go into the next year raising that.
We didn't in the budget, but
We have it on the agenda today.
Did we? Oh,
Yeah,
sweet,
it's
okay.
on the agenda.
Okay. Leave that, the living wisdom thing, at some point we want to maybe look at the road up there and figure out how we want to deal with that, but that we can put on for next year. She's putting on tap the code. Oh, yeah. There was that code that Dennis wrote that has to be shifted next on the lawyer has to, change the wording on that code that, refers to the owners,
Payment tap line fees, it's designed, interpreted.
So the extensions, it basically says that if you extend the line, that you cover the cost of that, as opposed to if you tap on, you cover the cost. The wording is really messed up. So if you could put that on the lawyer's report for next month, we need to change that as soon as
People
possible.
keep associating
Extensions,
the tap on fee with the extension. And that's not the intent. Tap on fee is for the privilege of tapping the main or the sewer, water main or the sanitary sewer. There are people who have prepaid tap on fees and have not extended anything. Until much later when they decided to bill. So. I don't know if that helps or hurts, but.
regarding the public hearing for the water and sand, I think that's only 28 days away. Are we on a strict?
21 days.
Oh, it's not 30.
okay. So I just got a text from, Andrea about our bank accounts requiring, phone number verification, and I know that we don't want to switch it, but I don't know how we can do that before we have two
I can send you the code, but I'm gonna do
strict.
30 minutes of trying to text her at the same time.
Oh, yeah, did she get that too? Okay, I just told her she's waiting on it. Yeah. You have it? You have the phone? Oh.
I have it on.
I'm just gonna tell her we can't switch it right now.
But if she wants to switch it to her phone number,
So she's saying, at least, I don't know if we should do that.
is that for QuickBooks? Or she's trying to?
Bank accounts.
For the bank accounts, so but then what if I need to get into the, use the finance committee? I can send her the codes, this is,
Send her
this is not a good time. For it.
Yeah. Burnt Gulch drainage, we got the Cobra complete event committee. Okay, so the only thing is just getting this stuff over, figuring out how to deal with Andrea, trying to get into bank accounts and do things like that. We need to have some kind of,
Can we switch it to like an email verification that she and Ariel could have access to? Instead of a phone?
You can try, but I'm pretty sure the only one offered is the cell phone.
Okay.
okay, so she'll work on that.
What's
And then we're
that?
on to the clerk's report.
Might be this.
We're still talking to Randy about the town hall grant. Are we gonna use the, original? Are we gonna use our bid that we got from SGM
Sorry,
as far as the town hall?
I don't,
Is that a problem?
I don't think it is. It wasn't, the only thing that he had given us was,
Like,
a drawing of where he was suggesting that the repair work underneath was to be done. And I think from that, what he's given us from there, we can go out to bid for a contractor to do that work.
okay,
It's very simple. It was a couple of concrete pads with some reinforcement rod. And then there was some, beams, running, perpendicular to the joist. And I think some joist replacement. And that was about it. Now, I didn't touch anything on the outside.
yeah, we
And there was only one crack down by the window over here that I saw going down to the footer. Probably,
one crack in the window upstairs too.
that's probably because of what happened down here.
So should we go forward with getting a bid on that? Oh, yeah.
Okay, and there's one place where the false front appears trying to separate from the building. And you're gonna have to get somebody to get in there and see what it entails to pull that back in. Or if this work that we're gonna do down here, we'll automatically bring it back into true.
Yeah, I think we
It's how
start,
it kind of racked itself.
I think we start on the bottom. And then even maybe with some screw jacks, be able to possibly lift that side up.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I think we go, it'll take a little bit to get some specifications done for the bid on it, but we can do
Are
that.
you able to work on that at all?
I will try.
Yeah,
If I run into a problem, I'll talk to an engineer.
okay.
And originally, we were gonna spend $49,000 and they were gonna match another 49, so it's gonna be like 90-something thousand bucks. And then we've talked about lowering that, and I think we tried to bring it down to, we talked about spending a total of 32, so we would spend 16 and have 16 matched.
And that's what we put in the budget.
Yeah, in 2025, we got rid of all the grant numbers, so with that, even that $70,000 net income, that would then become 54 if we're spending
No,
16.
I thought that was in there, Adam.
And we got rid of it on the draft the other
A
night.
supplemental one?
No, 2025.
But I thought the 70,000 was for this year.
No, for 2025.
Sure.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we were working in 2025 the other night. so
I know we were, but remember we were talking about when we supplement that budget, that was supposed to have a $70,000.
You're using 70, there's two numbers that are 70,000.
Oh, okay,
Adam is looking at, being roughly 68,000 and change.
okay,
He's rounded up to 70.
okay.
And the 70,000 that we were talking about the other night is the 70,000
And that's what you.
that was reserves for the sales tax.
Right.
I texted you about 2025.
Oh, really?
So if it happens in 2025, there is money. And getting closer to the 16 versus the 49 would be ideal. And if it happens in 2024, then I think we currently have money budgeted for that.
And looking what the engineer, had proposed, and I'll admit I'm not really up on today's construction costs. I kind of thought that we had estimated high on that. And you can get it closer to 20 total,
Okay, great.
not for the rest of the work up here, just.
Just for the foundation stuff.
Right, yeah,
Really?
yeah.
It couldn't happen in 2024, could it?
I don't think it would. Honestly, by the time we get advertised for bids and get somebody and going through some qualifications, I think it would take, but it's the type of work that you could do in the winter time.
Is it?
Yeah, the only difficulty would be for some concrete, but it'd be bucketed in anyway.
Mhm.
So you'll look into that guy, so we can get that done, yes.
Yeah, the one thing about doing it in winter time is that's when you got the frost heave underneath here.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's gonna put that big hump in the bedding material. And then when spring comes, you know, when it all flattens out again and the water starts running. You know, it's
So
kind of like,
spring is the time to do it, right?
I would say spring this summer.
If frost is a problem, though, then the frost will return the following year, so that has to be addressed anyway.
Yeah. But it could be as far as, if we put a deep enough pillar down below, we could avoid that. I don't know.
No, we wouldn't put I don't know, imagine we put the pad on top of the existing ground and be excavating anything. At least below the foundation level.
Yeah.
Okay, so we can work on that a bit and then we'll postpone the construction until next spring or into summer. Probably getting worse as we speak. Is it? Do you think it's getting worse or?
No, actually, for the cold spell we have now, I'm pretty impressed how the floor's laying right now.
Hmm.
Cause these posts haven't shot up to where the floor's like this and everybody's rolling away from the table. Yeah, it's in good shape now.
Do you want to do your report at all?
Sure. I guess to start, she's sending codes and they're not coming to this phone, so.
Really?
That's something that I can look into, but I really don't know. I don't know how to fix that. For my report, we've been working on office reorganization, literally moving around furniture, but also changing up processes and making sure that we're all on the same page for processes, including water, sewer, meter reading and billing, as well as, we'll be implementing weekly deposits, so that people's bills and checks will be up to date at all times. We're also working on, 2 surveys. We're working on simply put, like a customer satisfaction survey to send out to town residents, just to make sure that everyone's feeling good about town. I'll give you a draft of that before I ever send it out, so at the next meeting I'll have that. The second one is for the water sewer billing, to try and get all of our information up to date before we do this migration, because we're responsible for the data cleanup. So we'll be using the GIS mapping and hopefully this survey to make sure that everything is.
And the hydrant bills will be added into that system as well?
Yeah. Also looking into a cybersecurity grant, to try and help pay for any IT services and cybersecurity services we might need in the future. I'll have more about that at the next meeting as well. I did meet with, the Colorado Retirement Association. I was a little bit confused when they reached out because I thought that you as a board had decided to end our retirement benefits back in January. But they were never ended. They're still continued, and we're running into a bit of a problem because new employees weren't added to the retirement plan. It was never canceled, and so now there might be facing problems with the IRS, and that's a problem for us as well. So I'm gonna continue working with them on that, but I just want to make sure that that was actually, you as a board wanted to end the retirement plan.
Yeah, I think, yeah,
We did in 2024, and it's something we could look at again, but for the sake of simplifying for now, that was the decision that was made.
I also met with the under sheriff, Royce. Bacher, probably said his name wrong. He came to talk to us about entering traffic tickets into our municipal court. It's not as easy as him just giving us tickets in town. We have to have more infrastructure set up in order to do that. There's systems that we need to opt into with the state in order to run those traffic tickets, report them. We also need to be able to send out warrants and bonds. These are currently processes we don't have in our municipal court. So I would like to set up a meeting with him, myself, our judge, Barb Zollers, and Mateo, our code compliance officer, to try and see what exactly we need to do on our end to be ready to have traffic tickets and to make sure that our municipal court is running in a way that's, I guess, for lack of a better word, convenient to our citizens. We want everything to be as easy and approachable for them as possible. So I wanted to try and get that on the books for December so that we have a plan moving forward. I know the undersheriff would prefer that we have municipal court every month instead of just on the odd number months. So there's just a lot of things.
So but we don't have to do it. It was kind of a suggestion that was made by the sheriff himself, and I don't think the sheriff actually knows all the details. Funny enough, I felt like the undersheriff actually has the details on how it all works.
That's right. I just pursued it because it was something we had talked about here, and I just wanted to make sure that I was following up on that because I hadn't seen any tickets.
So part of the reason this came up was because, first of all, we already have a judge that comes here and hasn't had to come yet. We haven't had court,
We haven't had court all year.
So we're paying her $850 every 2 months, which is quite a bit, to just have a retained judge. And we thought, not so much about the money, but just the activity of having court was something that we were, we should have. I mean, it's a third branch of our government, and it's like a kind of an important element. So unless, Mateo starts, writing tickets more, then, we were thinking that we should have the sheriff write traffic tickets that are in town to our court.
So when somebody runs a stop sign, they would come to court here rather than having to go to Saguache.
Right,
But the Saguache County sheriffs would still be writing the tickets?
correct. So when they're in town and they're writing tickets, they would just write them into our court as opposed to writing them into the Saguache court.
One thing to note though is that they aren't writing tickets.
They haven't been writing.
They haven't. They've been stopping people, they've been pulling them over, but they haven't written.
But they will if they
If
catch.
we did it this way, then they would start writing.
Well, they also have written tickets, but not every stop. So in other words, they have written tickets here. I mean,
He told me that they have.
never.
And I got pulled over and I didn't get a ticket.
Which I think people like. I think that's something people like. I don't think people want to get tickets written.
I think another thing to consider is code compliance. Mateo's putting in like 3 to 6 hours every 2 weeks. You might need like to supplement him with another code compliance officer, maybe that has more time.
Correct.
Or just get a new one.
Okay, so just heads up on that. I mean, what does the board think about tickets in town? And
I would not be for a system that tickets people more.
even if it slowed down our traffic and made it safer?
I don't think we're really unsafe. I mean, do we have like lots of people getting injured and lots of accidents happening or like, lots of roadkill? I don't really see. I mean, I know that, yeah, like there's some people who go too fast through town, but I don't really see like a hugely unsafe environment.
There is a group of people that are starting to come together to ask for speed bumps.
Good.
So,
I've been wanting those for years.
I'm
Yeah.
more in favor of speed
and
bumps.
what I understand, from what I understand, there was a study done, including cost estimates for speed bumps. So I don't know if the ticket part would be less expensive for the town or installing and maintaining speed bumps.
Well, either way, we have to pay our judge.
I go for the tickets for now.
I don't think,
What do you think, Nikisha?
The issue with the speed bumps, that's been discussed for years and years. Problem being, when you put in decent speed bumps, it's not like an apartment parking lot. We're talking about streets here. Well, you put those big speed bumps in, the town is ultimately liable if somebody's oil pan falls off. But also you gotta consider the snowplows in the winter.
They,
So we investigated the cost of removable or motion type speed bumps, and they were like $16,000. It was outrageous. And then you gotta have somebody to go out there, kind of a two-person job to move them when the snowplow can't get through.
There's also
speed bumps are used all over the world, all over the world.
speed tables.
I've always promoted, Texas culverts, more of a dip as opposed to a bump. Because you got drainage issues with the speed bumps and
Well, whatever,
Okay,
either tickets or speed bumps, I don't care.
okay.
I think court sounds like fun and exciting, but I don't know that we can manage it right now.
Well, she can, I mean, she's trained, you know, to be a court clerk, or maybe
Throwing more.
huh?
It's just throwing more work on top of what's already kind of too much work.
I think that a lot of people in the community are already really upset by the increased police presence and talk about it a lot. And like creating a system as a board that
They'll
then
definitely,
like encourages the police to be ticketing people is going to be hugely unpopular. And also just like not why anybody like moved out to the end of the road to get ticketed for like that. There has to be other
I don't
ways
care
that can be
if
done.
they don't like it. I got people coming down Hemlock 40 and 50 miles an hour on motorcycles and cars. And on a dusty day,
I have not seen people coming down at 40 miles an hour.
no, because they're coming to a stop when they come to your place. But in my place, they are.
my kid's walking down that street and says that people are speeding right past him. But it's oftentimes high school kids.
Right. Sure. I think that there are lots of solutions. I think speed bumps are one of them.
The thing about speed bumps are they're only in certain locations, so it's like, if you're gonna put a speed bump on Hemlock, I mean, that's like, you know, kind of probably not gonna happen.
And there would be one, there have to be two or three.
Right.
I mean, I think
There's
also,
a waste of speed bumps.
And I think that's on your street, but I'm saying like, Galena is insane. I mean, I feel like it's good maybe that they're pulling people over and just giving them warnings and we just maybe leave it at that for now.
yeah,
They are increasing their presence here, they're gonna start doing, they've already said it, but it's not based on us, they're doing it.
I know it's not, but there's definitely a perception that it's based on us.
Well, we gotta go against the perception, I mean, in some ways, it's like people should follow the laws of town a bit more, so that we're, you know, and then it wouldn't be a problem. It's just people wanna be able to fly through these stop signs without any recourse.
I don't know if it's so.
I've watched, you can sit here, I mean, you should just sit and watch for a little while, it's amazing,
If folks with police themselves, we wouldn't
yeah,
need police.
and that's how it was for a
People
while.
don't know that, but they need the police themselves, and behave. Cause I get the motorcycles, I get the cars.
So anyway, we'll go on, I know this is a clerk's report, so
Yeah,
it's something that we need to talk about though.
Finally, with the added job title and responsibilities, 40 hours isn't enough time. The past week I spent 52 hours here with the idea to just not work as much this week. But I was hoping that maybe I could be approved for overtime, to get things completed.
I agree, she needs it, I mean, I really think, I know that Lauren is against it, but
well, we're, yeah,
I'm happy to prioritize things and take care of the things that are most important, but when that happens, there's a ton of things that don't get done within the week, you know, they're just not timely. That's okay, but
Do you have an idea how many more hours you need or?
I would just say up to 10 a week. And try not to use that, try to get like 8.
And it's because the treasurer position is now empty.
Yeah, it was just, I mean, right now I'm doing the admin clerk. You know, still doing IT things, literally setting up people's computers and helping them with passwords, that's a lot of my time. And then on top of that, not clerks of the treasurer things, like running payroll and doing the water sewer billing, and taking care of water sewer issues, and Patty is a help, but, you know, 36 hours is a lot for her too, that's not what.
Would it be,
came in here.
would it be safe to say that if the hours were increased and we were lucky enough to find someone who would retire a treasurer, then that would back off from there?
100%.
Okay, then I would make that motion that we increase Ariel's overtime to a limit of 10 per week,
10 or, yeah, 10.
or if needed.
Until we hire a treasurer.
Right.
Your second,
I would second it.
more discussion?
I think we're in a dangerous position of putting way too much on Ariel and burning her out and like.
What's your take on that?
I feel pretty overwhelmed and kind of stressed, but I don't feel like I'm at burnout. I really love my job here and I don't want to leave.
We pay salary, how does overtime apply to that?
You're just over 40. You just pay the cost plus a half of, you know,
What's
40.
the cost?
Whatever.
It's not 25
$25.88 is the hourly, and then you pay one.
We will say the not having.
So it'll be up to $38 an hour, so that's an extra
No, 30,
$360 a week. Which is
we're
an
not paying
extra
treasurer.
$1,500.
We're not paying treasurer. I mean, now we're paying
Patty more,
Patty more, and we're also paying for this.
so that's a separate
I
fund.
know.
You didn't increase Patty's pay, just her
Right,
hours.
yeah. Well, then we need to hire a treasurer.
Yeah, which we've got the ad for it on the agenda, which is, you know, the first step.
So in the meantime, I mean,
The basic gotta be covered.
yeah,
It's gotta be covered.
Yeah, and Ariel, if you're ever feeling like
yeah.
super burnt out or whatever, just like communicate so that we can like meet your needs. I just don't want you to one day wake up and be like, God, screw this, you know?
I think some stress actually is that she's trying to fit stuff into a certain amount of time.
Sure.
And if she has a little more time, it might relieve a little bit of that, but I'm not sure if that's.
That is some of the stress, though, it's like, I was here on the weekend, like Friday and Saturday, trying to get things done that I just couldn't get done during the week.
Okay.
Would you read the motion?
Motion to allow Ariel overtime for 10 hours a week until a treasurer is hired.
Second, did you second?
Second,
I
we're in
seconded it.
discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Great, thank
I'm
you.
gonna go in a few minutes for a phone call I have to take.
Yeah, please, we don't have an attorney. Let me just move on. You can leave when you need, but I just want to keep going on this.
I'll probably be gone for 25 minutes.
Okay, I would like, did you guys get the letter of intent from Sean? I don't think I can make a motion, but I would like to, entertain a motion to appoint Sean to our seat as board member. I think that he would be, a really good addition to our board. He's, got a good handle on the town's, you know, what's happening in town. I feel like, you know, he has a kid that goes to school here. He's, you know, ready to do the work. I mean, I feel like you wanna come up and just come here and speak to us for a second?
Sit down.
Yeah. We, you know, we need to have another board member, to widen our board, our seats. And I just feel as though, you know, he's an upstanding gentleman, and it's, you know, that's kind of what we're looking for as far as, board members, people who follow the town, you know, wanna follow the town board, follow the town's codes, follow the constitutional codes of the state and the constitutional codes or laws of the land. I think that's, becoming harder to find lately, unfortunately. So I do feel like Sean would be a great member of our team, and hope that, you know, it's gonna take him some time to,
I have a lot to learn.
yeah, you have a lot to learn. But as you get the packets and you study and you listen to, you know, you can talk to one board member at a time. You can't, you'd have to know that we can't, we can't speak in a 3-person group without calling a meeting.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so that's an important thing to understand. So I can't meet with Dennis and you at the same time if you're a board member,
Oh, all right.
unless we have a meeting called. So that's an important thing, and it's open meeting law. And then it is a job that is, I hate to say it, but it is a 24/7 job. You're always on. You're always in the position. You just don't have to be working on stuff all the time. So,
John, have you ever done anything like this before, like with a homeowners association or any other,
Nonprofit board, anything?
Never, no, this is all new. If you guys need someone, I'm willing to give it a shot and try to learn what I can.
well, by state statute, yes, we need someone, but, someone who also would be willing to work and get into it. And, that's probably more important than the other.
I'm willing to learn from you guys and put some.
I don't know if we got anything. It take about 5 seconds, I guess. Yeah, a lot of it is self.
showing up.
Yeah, just, it's a joke, say I was smiling when I said it, right? No.
Yeah, I mean, also as somebody who's like fairly new to the board and hasn't been on a board before, like, there is a lot of wisdom in the room. And I think a lot of it is just like asking questions and not like coming in assuming you know nothing and being curious.
So I'll be like 6 months behind you. Yeah. I've been on the trustees with the planning and zoning with Benji. It was like 4 months, 5 months. Yeah, I'm learning from that a little bit. I'm not a very political person at all.
I have to go, Danny, do you wanna make a motion?
I make a motion to approve Sean, to appoint Sean Mamonakis to the Crestone Town Board.
Just second that?
In the seat of Armando, it's taking Armando's term, which is actually a 4-year term. Well, 3.5.
Don't tell him that yet.
Have to tell him, because he doesn't know what he's in for.
Right.
And, is there any more discussion? I would like him to be sworn in so that he can sit in the seat today, if possible. Yeah, so I'll wait a second, I'm just gonna do it, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Well,
Thank you guys.
Sean, you like medium well or where?
I got some advice from Blair. Everybody's gonna hate you. I know.
That's okay. Like everyone will hate you.
Get along pretty good with mostly everybody, even like the groups that don't like each other, so maybe I can help with something.
I don't really care if people like me.
Yeah, you have to just have that thick skin and not really care.
Yeah, I don't care.
One
I
day
don't think
somebody's gonna
everybody
like,
hates me. I don't think that that's true,
No, no.
just most people.
I would like to make a comment about that.
Okay.
I think it's important the town trustees have good customer service. You should be liked. And if you're not liked, there's probably a reason.
Yeah,
there's also saying that 33% of the people are gonna like you, 33% of the people aren't gonna like you, and that 33% in between are the ones that you're really dealing with.
Haters don't count. So
So,
people who have solutions are not haters. Haters are, blue and we don't care who, right?
mhm.
Yeah. So you gotta remember, it's not an absolute situation. You have to have an open mind, Sean. And as a past fire chief, I was hated by many people because they didn't want hydrants. And they didn't want a mill levy increase. And so I was in deep doo-doo at the post office. So I know what they're talking about. But the difference between being liked by people who are sense makers, and being hated by haters, night and day.
that's a good point.
All right, love you.
Now you wanna hear something really scary?
What I'm about to say.
No, you're gonna have your fun here.
Well, I
It is
found
actually-
it, it's interesting because I'll have a strict opinion about a topic when I leave the house and come to a meeting. But then I hear from different perspectives on the same topic. And it's like, I never thought of it that way. Or, hey, that's a good solution to the problem. So, what you think when you leave it, and then once you visit with people and get that different perspective, it's interesting, it's kind of fun.
That's a good attitude to have. I tell my daughter, I'm like, I'm wrong at least once a day. I'm willing to admit it and change my opinion when I think I'm wrong or trying to do too wrong. I'm wrong a lot.
Yeah. I don't have a blank one right now for you to sign, but before you leave. So if you raise your right hand.
Stand up.
Check. And then you should be up there. I, Sean Mamanakis,
I, Sean Mamanakis,
do swear
do swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
I will support the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the State of Colorado,
the Constitution of the State of
and
Colorado,
the laws of the State of Colorado,
and the laws of the State of Colorado,
and will faithfully perform the duties of the office of trustee,
and will faithfully perform the duties of the office of trustee
upon which I'm about to enter.
upon which I'm about to enter.
Congrats.
Congratulations. Let's see.
Dana, will you move your thing?
What's that wall of change you like?
Do you have an agenda? Or I can-
There goes Ryan.
Oh, thank you.
Oh,
I think you're about to share. He's got two, actually.
I don't know.
Oh, you don't know. So, do you have to, you got two?
Yes, please. He's got two.
One more?
Okay, so. Nathan,
Awesome.
is Nathan next, Benji?
Yeah, Nathan's next.
Who's the second on the?
I made the motion, I think Adam seconded it.
Okay, that's it.
My name's Nathan Good. I live at 1010 Pinion Road. Currently residing in the town of Crestone since August 2nd. I haven't changed my address yet, but I want to thank you for all your hard work, helping our town stay healthy big thanks for approving our fire department bonfire and fundraising event. So I want to reemphasize the importance of the NIM 700. That's one of the requirements all board of directors, statutory towns must, pass. It is a short course that is the National Emergency Management System, introduction, so that you understand the importance of communication, intergovernmental communication between your town and the local emergency authorities. This
Is
is,
that a Colorado,
it's federal.
it's just it's a federal class that we would all need to take like online?
Yeah, you can do it online.
Okay.
And in the past, the board has completed that, but this is a new board. Back when I was the fire chief, we helped the board, we sent links to the board to help the board get up to speed on what that means.
You can do that again?
Yeah, Fire Chief Craig Tomoski, he's fabulous, he's just a great man, and, so I just wanna encourage you to work closely with us in emergency preparation, with fire, flood, and all hazard assessment. In my experience in almost 23 years of, being in emergency services, we have one priority that seems to always just make us really challenged, and that's communication. So that's why I'm here today. I'm here to encourage a good communication system. And just so you know, our own departments suffer in this. We have communication problems within our organization, within the county, within the BACA. It's just a constant struggle to get. So as a training officer at Crestone Fire, my job is to identify those hazards, those pitfalls. And the risk assessment right now is that I've determined that is our weak link, and it is, it's like if you look at, the number one reason we fail, it's because of communication. So, and the example is that I've been sending emails to the town with no response, and we couldn't even find my agenda request. And that's okay, because that's part of how we learn, right? Just like Benjamin said earlier, none of us are paid professionals. I'm a volunteer. And that's why I'm here, because we're kind of all serving our community, right? And that's why what I've been doing 29 years here. My mom's here. I have 3 children. I have a granddaughter. And I really care about our community a lot. And I am a solutionary. I'm not I have been canceled recently since COVID, because I did not follow the arrows and all the directions of the science. I believe in science, which means doing the work. So with that said, the communication system that I'm proposing, I've worked with Matthew Bailey a little bit and different people on how to implement a communication system, helping with AI, with the best way forward, because it's daunting. Communication is daunting. It's like, how do we form that? How do we create that? Facebook doesn't work real good. Email is dry, it's impersonal. So anyway, we're looking to that solution. I don't expect any answers from you folks today on that, but I am asking for willingness to explore, and Benjamin knows this already, and Adam King knows it, and I think Kim knows it. Dennis, I think, and Dana, and Sean definitely knows, because Sean and I are friends, and Warren knows. And I always forget your name again. Ariel. And I think you probably know, because you didn't receive my email somehow, but she hasn't now. So with all that said, we want to implement this before we need it, so we can practice it. So when we do need it, we'll have a little better heads up on what's coming. And the priority of this is public safety, of course. The second is good customer service being a goal, so that we can, all the way from evac notices to lost dogs, right, and everything in between. Events, official public notices that the town wants to get everybody out, like such as liens. Like, a lot of people have no idea what's going on. And so there's rumors, right? And we know that the Eagle is having that trouble. They lost money, they didn't pay the bills, they're shut down. Holy crap. Any business that can happen to, right? If you don't, you can get shut down. And I've been a business owner here for years. So bringing it back to fire, we've had the same struggle. We've had no running water at our fire department for the entire 29 years I've been here. And I think Ken knows that. We've had an outhouse. Ken was on the, Andrew, I might have been on the fire, but you were on fire a long time ago, right? So we've always had an outhouse here. We're finally getting a fire department with running water. I'm so grateful, so thank you for support. But with that said, also, you know, we bring the county in on all this, you know, and bless their hearts, you know, they've got a raise that used to be 10,000, 20, 30, now they're getting 65K to be a county commissioner, so I expect them to really do the work. So David Freeze is our current emergency manager, and I've talked to him briefly about what the all hazard situation is coming up. The DHS has sent out memos to the chiefs. I think commissioners and managers have got the memos, but they're expecting some post-election fallout. Okay, and so these memos are pretty harsh, but they're mainly for big cities. Okay, I don't expect heavy duty crap here, but it's definitely, there's some kind of weird media thing dividing people, in my opinion. And I think the town's done a great job staying out of that. So congratulations on not gaslighting with memos and crap of all the stuff that other town councils have done. And you know, becoming very political. I see this board as very neutral, and I just wanna say thank you for not flying flags right now. Let's fly flags of peace and harmony. Yeah, yeah, we have a constitution, both the United States and Colorado, and those organic constitutions are real, and that's what we voted on a long time ago, but there's new ones that have been brought in that are corporate captured, all right, so we won't go there. But there's a division amongst our teams, amongst our offices. And so most of the people I work with in DHS are like David Osborne, our lead. He is very calm, collected, and he doesn't give this a lot of emphasis. But I'm gonna say this before I move on. There was a resident who gaslit the committee with a bunch of emails saying there was gonna be a chemical attack over the town. And, yeah, and this was emailed out to set of over 50 people, and I got wind of it. And my past fire chief, Kimberly Bryant, and I had a discussion about it, and I said, Kimberly, what do we do with the info? She said, call DHS. Let's let them know if this is real, they'll vet it, and they'll put it in the kayak system, which is our CIA database, which we put all the information into. And if it's valid, it'll come back hot. And if it's hot, we'll implement the system. I'm like, what's that? Reverse 911. Okay, great. That's a federal thing. It's a local thing. We have ways to do it.
Did DHS get back
Oh, yeah.
about that?
It was cold. There was no trail, there was no nothing. David Osborne called me directly. He said, Nathan, thank you. Of course, I'm in the hot seat for doing this still because I'm known as this guy who, because I do the threat assessment, hazard, priority analysis, risk to benefit stuff as a firefighter, and I have to continue doing that as long as I'm on. So that's my duty for public safety. And as a volunteer, I take it very seriously, even though I'm not paid. Okay? So David Freeze, I talked to him briefly about it. He said, yes, we're not worried in this county. Dan Warwick's, nobody's worried here. But if we do get that, and I called Benjamin personally the other day, Mateo is gonna be informed, Peace Patrol knows, everybody knows. We've had these situations, people losing their cookies, and we're dealing with it at the church. We're, you know, Jake's my neighbor. We're all working together to de-escalate BS because it's false news, in my opinion, that it's gonna be this big thing, right? No. So when people make these phone calls, like the chemical attack, I'm just like, serious? Okay, well, that's all great. It's fake. Okay, but what's when it's real? We had flood potential, we've had this, all right? So that's why the communication system is my #1 agenda item. The #2 agenda item, are any questions on all that? Have you guys received the emails?
No,
Have you gotten NIM 700?
I heard something about it, though.
Okay.
Didn't believe it.
Yeah. Does anybody here have NIM 700? Okay. I recommend you get on it, and that way you'll understand how we communicate. You'll understand the importance of vetting information, be it real or fake. And I think all of you are really good humans who know how to say, wait a second, okay, we got the memo, but how do we know that's real? Well, David Freeze, David Osborne are at your services. And the fire chiefs are here at your services. Don't hesitate to reach out if you feel weird about something.
Is Freeze in Villa Grove, fire?
Yeah, well, he's not a fire chief, he's the, search and rescue chief, and he's the emergency manager, and he's a very good firefighter.
You picked me up from a rescue in Westford, but I think you're the one that organized that, me and Jeff, you picked us up from Westford from Joe's back.
Yeah, so it's real, so we wanna do the risk to benefit assessment, we wanna do, and Benjamin's on that, he already told me he's been checking the flood thing, we might wanna send the water in a different channel. Very important, okay, he's on it, your mayor is, he's
I don't know.
a good guy, no-
I'm on it, but I still feel the risk, and I also don't necessarily feel like we've mitigated it by any means. But,
not yet, we got moisture now, so fire's off the table. Risk assessment changes like the weather, okay, so when we don't have fire danger, we go, oh, I don't have to fear, maybe some structure fires, but we're not gonna have these catastrophic wildfires right now, okay? Secondly, the rain season might be over, so we're not gonna be having that, but as the risk assessment changes, now we got this post-election fallout that we just have to keep our eyes open for. Some of the folks some of the veterans are on edge, some of the veterans are, again, and I use the analogy, blue no matter who, because that's one of the buzzwords out there right now. They just take a side and they just won't lay down, and they got all their guns all over the place, and they just can't, you know what I mean? It's just this, it's not real. I'm not packing because there's no need to pack right now, all right? Just like I'm not in fire gear right now because I don't need to be in fire gear. But again, the way we operate is we prepare prior to the need. So if something occurs, I know that I can be ready and I can get my stuff and be ready, right? Okay. So, yeah, so anyway, we're working at that, when the assessment comes and there's somebody freaking out at the church, and I'll just say it real quick.
Just to cut you off here, we have a pretty long agenda, so we do need to move on. What's, as far as sending this meme 700, will you actually be able to do that? Send it to us so that we can, all, okay.
Okay,
That's, so we're getting that.
yeah, it's like 40.
The other thing I was thinking that would be good for the community or the board members is there was a thing called a salamander card.
Mm-hmm.
And it came up maybe like, I don't know, 4 years ago, and it's like a special card that you have that if town officials need to get into the town and closing it off, you have this way of getting in, and I think that's kind of an important thing for us if we're officials. Looks like that.
Yeah, there's a settlement card, and this is a federal, accepted form of ID that identifies you, that we know you're not fake.
Right, so I think it's a good thing that we should look at getting.
Yeah, and we can issue one at the county, we have the equipment there. So,
Sorry, will you find out about that one for us?
yeah, and you guys will have, it won't be red for fire, but it'll be blue for town or whatever, or not blue, because that's for LEOs. But whatever it could be green, I don't know, they have color codes.
As
So.
far as, communications, it seems that it's, we definitely have a ways to go. We communicate pretty well as a board, and, our meetings are really our only place that we can communicate to each other in a group, because of the open meetings law.
Yeah,
And so figuring out a system, is something that, I actually think that it's gonna have to do more with like sirens and things like that. And at one point I tried to have a thing where you have, and it sounds kind of crazy, but you have a series of fire cameras that pick up heat along the mountains, and anybody can tap into it at any time to look at it. It blocks out any houses, it blocks out people. It just knows to recognize pre-fire stuff, and I always thought that was and I've talked to, and so the previous fire chief cut it down and blocked it out, but this new fire chief is definitely more into it for the Baca. I haven't talked to Craig about it so much, but they were worried about privacy and all that, and I said, this is not about privacy, this is about protecting our town if something goes off, and we won't be able to see it unless, it's too late. So it's pre-catching it.
yeah, and Matthew Bailey has air quality sensing equipment that can be integrated, it's just a fabulous thing.
Yeah.
So
What-
that's,
yeah,
that's
so just to
important.
sum up your, what, is there a way you could sum it up with some points?
Yeah, my point mainly is if I send an email out to the town, I would like to get a response, at least I got it. Or, we're including in the agenda, or, we don't have time for your agenda item or whatever, so I appreciate you.
In the future, we have an agenda item request form. You can
Okay.
come in and fill that out.
Gotcha. Yeah, I just, Dana and I had an informal talk at the coffee shop, she said, well, send the clerk, the email to the clerk.
Yeah, I mean,
So anyway, it's all good, but it's been years, been here 29 years and it's always changing. So anyway, as we move forward with whatever it is, I'm gonna recommend a simple email system first and a communications person who responds to emails officially.
which we have, yeah.
But it hasn't been done, because I've got so many emails in and there's never a response.
Well, I don't think we've ever seen a correspondence from you necessarily, I mean,
I haven't received.
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
but I mean,
have it
like-
right here, it's sent.
we have 2 emails, she has 2 emails that she
Okay.
runs.
Okay.
I mean, there's a lot, so,
Well, it's just
If you-
interesting that my example today is shown. I sent an email and it wasn't received.
but
Yeah,
that doesn't
there.
mean, yeah, if it's not received, that might be that you typed it wrong.
Well, no, it says sent.
Huh.
Yeah, it's there. So anyway, we're not gonna worry about it, right now, but I'd like to make that a big priority. This is public safety communication, okay? So that's that. Real quick now, you don't have to say anything about this. So now, as you all know, there's a community, center team of people, it's still grassroots right now. Working to bring a large multipurpose building, central location, as you already know. We've had $1 million from FEMA already once. We've had, all kinds of great public, we have, 200 to 1 in favor of it. The building will serve, the same priority, which is, most important, public safety for, evacuation, emergencies and such, but then also for events and gatherings and communication. But also for Mercado, for a market, for people to join and come together and make your space, and we got the full perspectives out. Intentions are involved all government entities, but may be formed as being a corporation, a B Corp, if that's what the people want. It's a community effort with all options on the table. It's what the stakeholders of this community will choose and fund, not by taxes or dues, but by membership tier levels, and also stakeholders will have a 10% minimum return on your investment, okay? Our crew has put out a call to action. Come join the board of directors. We're forming a board of directors now to decide what type of business model we're gonna have. And then get the pulse of the community back on how we wanna do it, what's gonna be in it, how it's gonna be done. Please get involved, or at least stay tuned. We'd love to have a town liaison. And so basically, that's what we're up to right now. We have 7 boards of directors right now who've joined in. We haven't chosen if it's a B Corp yet or not, but we'll keep you posted. But that's the other emails I've sent regarding this and haven't received anything back. So I just want to reiterate the importance of communication. And so that's why I'm here today, just to let everybody know that
I'm just curious what email you're sending to.
I've got several emails. townclerk@gmail.com is the last one I was given. We've had so many, that's the one Dana gave me, but we've had so many,
Not,
well,
town clerk?
Crestone clerk at Gmail.
That's the one I gave you. I gave you Crestone clerk at Gmail.
okay. So there's like literally 8 emails associated with the
There's
town.
Crestone clerk and there's
Crestone town.
Crestone town.
So
office.
let's clear that up right now, like,
Yeah,
so
Crestone clerk, period.
Crestone clerk,
Okay.
At gmail.com. And then there's Crestone town office at gmail.com. And those are the main 2. You send those?
Okay. Yeah, so I have like, because Akia, Allison, I mean, all the emails change.
Yeah, they change.
Right, they just constantly change.
But now we have
So
a
I send
an
an email.
updated website with everything. I
Right,
mean, it's.
well, I used the website last time and they bounced, right? So if we could get continuity where we stay instead of changing constantly, that would help. Like my emails stayed the same forever because that way I have continuity and all my people know me.
I think part of
But if the emails
the
constantly-
continuity and
Right. Right, so.
We are really trying to develop that trust.
And I really
Trust.
appreciate you
Uh,
for that, and I know you're working hard, so I'll end on that. Thank you.
And we do have continuity with being open, so we are open from 9
Yes,
until 2,
yes.
4 days a week, every single day.
Yeah.
But you've
And
got, you've got the 2 emails now.
Oh, yeah, there's so many emails, and I've sent out so many, and, but now that if they change again, then.
The truth is, it probably is gonna change again, because legally we need to have a .gov email, but once we have that.
But it can be forwarded.
Okay,
You
good,
can
well, that,
forward the other ones.
that really shows what happened, and, so that's kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, thank you, Nathan.
Yes,
and
thank you,
Board.
Nathan, appreciate it, yep, and thanks for, your volunteer work on that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and if you could give us the course, so we can,
It's for.
you got it.
She has the right email, so.
So we're gonna move on to new business C, which is Crestone rate study. Sarah Everhart, is that something that we're supposed to be talking to her?
She wanted to talk to you about the rate study that she's been doing on the sewer.
Okay.
I texted her to join the Zoom.
Okay.
but I haven't heard.
Okay, so
I said she would be here today.
let's get on, when she gets here, next we're on to, I need Dennis for this one.
Richard's good.
Into the bathroom, let's move on to, treasurer job. Oh, Dennis, are you ready to talk about dirt road snow plowing plan with Eddie High?
Sure, yeah. Is there gonna be here?
Maybe we invite him and then work on that,
I don't know if it's, did it?
we kind of need to figure what we're gonna do and then pass it on to him through Ariel, he could listen in. He claimed that he wanted to, possibly do like, almost like a, like if he knows it's gonna snow, he would have a way of staying here and getting up as early as he needs to in order to do snow plowing. I don't know if it's something we want, or thanks, Nathan.
And a couple things came to my mind after we talked about that last time. Getting a leg up on it is definitely a good thing. Looking at an extended forecast, we already had some conversation with Swatch and trying to coordinate when they were coming. Also notifying them and possibly there was no snow where they were at, but we were getting plowed out here. But we never talked about, Eddie staying here, and is he gonna be on the clock when he's doing that?
See, I don't know about that, I think it's, I think he volunteered that he would stay here off the clock, and then as soon as he starts his work, he'd be on the clock.
Like he wants to sleep in the office?
That's what he claimed to me, he said it would be something he'd totally be willing to do, so that he doesn't have to, you know,
He might not be
obviously,
able to get here.
4 in the morning or whatever, right?
And where's he coming?
Yeah, he is.
Just a Baca, but if it's a snow that is, you know, covering the Baca, you get snowed in.
You know, if he's willing to do that, I guess that's all right, but I know people on call are generally paid.
Well, we could ask him, and I mean, that's all I would say is that if he stays here, he's not on the clock, he's just, it's not on call really, I think he's more just trying to make it so it's more of a convenience for him
Yeah.
to just get up and start moving. But
Yeah,
we could tell
I
him that.
guess if he would be on call if he had to, you know, leave at any time versus like just starting his normal workday. Right?
He just said that it was the way he wanted to do it, is what I got.
You
I mean,
know, maybe we should, let's schedule a public works meeting,
Okay.
ask him to be, and let's get a little bit more detail on what we expect and what he's talking about,
Okay.
and then we'll go on from there.
Okay. Yeah, when did we hear that from him, remember, do you remember that?
The last one.
Yeah, it's off.
Was it?
Started to bring that.
Was it Public Works or staff? I think it was a staff meeting.
I thought it was the public works.
I don't know if it
I haven't seen him at
Maybe
a
it was-
public works meeting,
was staff meeting.
yeah, he's never been to a public.
I had brought it up at staff meeting. That's all.
Yeah,
Okay. So let's plan that, when we gotta do it soon.
Do we wanna schedule that now?
Yeah. I mean, even, tomorrow afternoon is fine for me. I mean, you're pretty busy, right?
Next time for public meeting.
I'm in for Denver,
Oh.
appointment.
Okay. Why don't we say,
Sometime the week of the fourth.
okay, we could even do it before the, planning commission meeting on the fourth, so. Like, 4 o'clock on the fourth?
Okay.
Does that work? Or, is that,
Yeah.
okay. So we have all these committees, Sean, and we can really only have two people two trustees on the committees unless we notice meetings. So there are some committees that you should look at being on so that, you know.
I could be on one more next to the.
Well, planning commission, we're gonna have to find, that's another story, but, we'll talk about that once.
You can be on multiple committees, there can just only be 2 board members per committee without having to notice every single meeting that they have.
So it's you and Benji on planning and zoning.
And you, and so
one of us.
one of us needs to
Step down,
step down.
and we'll find another,
We can figure that out.
right,
I will.
this, yeah, well, this is a more important board.
Okay.
I mean, the planning commission is great and it's something we need to have, and it's by law, we have to have it.
I would also step down.
All right, well,
We can talk about it and we'll figure it out.
so I'm bringing this up because Dennis and I are in Public Works as well as RAL, and then we work with the Public Works, directly, you know, to try to get a little more oversight that doesn't happen in the board meetings as much. So that's part of the idea, that those meetings are designed specifically to sum up what we're doing so that the board meetings are shorter. Doesn't always happen. Okay, 4 o'clock on that Monday, got it. Next, Crestone rate study is still not happening. Job posting review. So Ariel created a job posting for the treasurer.
That's all.
With Dennis's help, it's really actually very thorough.
I make a motion to approve the treasurer job posting.
Is there a second?
Second
All in favor?
it,
Aye.
Vote. Okay, next we have
IGA.
discussion about, I actually remember not putting this on there. This is something, Sean, that we've been working on for a very long time. It's on your agenda as 14A.
Decision regarding the Barker.
Yeah,
Yeah, this one would require probably, a week's worth of study just to catch up. So we're gonna discuss it a little bit,
but the agreement that is in this folder is the most current agreement that Seth has sent us. Is that correct?
I haven't seen anything after that.
Right. And it did look like some of the things we had talked about had been kind of amended.
I think, is Adam suggested you're gonna take that agreement and have a public meeting,
Mhm,
or a meeting with the public?
mhm.
And specifically talk about the agreement.
wondering if, this agreement doesn't have any red lines in it, so I don't know what was changed or updated.
Nothing since the last time. We read it.
So, do you know if Kizen had talked to, no,
I reached out to her a few times, but I didn't hear anything back.
Kizen's 2 points were that one of them was if the Baca Grande grows faster than the town, how do we keep up with that percentage?
It's there is
Yeah,
something in here
noticed
that talks about how, where is it?
It's on for wastewater treatment plant upgrades and expansion.
Expansions. The amount the town pays for wastewater treatment shall increase so that the town is paying its proportionate share. Yeah.
Is there a percentage there?
Yeah, it says by way of example, if the town's average percent contribution to the overall volume of wastewater treated by the district during this period is 28%, and the town's average percentage contribution to the total pounds of BOD treated by the district is 37%, the town's share would be 32.5. And the consultant would base the amount of the increase necessary for the town to pay a proportionate share of the cost of upgrade, expanded, or new wastewater treatment facilities on this percentage. All or any portion of the town's share may be paid through loans or grants secured by the town. I don't know if that was
At a
exactly.
certain, somewhere in here too, it also talks about how, here, maybe it is, yeah, under 3A, increases in cost of service. Except as set forth in paragraph 4 below, an increase in the rate that the town pays the district for wastewater treatment services during the terms of this agreement shall be made in the discretion of the district, taking into account only increases in infrastructure, operation, administrative, and other costs over time of providing services to the town, and not an increase in infrastructure over time of providing wastewater treatment services to the district's other customers. So to me, like, over time, as the Baca grows and as the town grows, we're not going to be paying for Baca growth.
Right,
Which I think was Kizer's concern.
it was, but I don't know if that was,
Yeah, I don't know if that totally covers it.
I thought, I don't wanna speak for her, but I thought when her concerns were, when we talked about the possibility of maneuvering the, monies for the grant that we have for the sewer extension, and if those money to Baca, and if that happened, to make sure that we have some way for the future of knowing that that had been done.
well, there was that too, there was 2 points, yeah. And I'm not seeing that at all on here,
But I don't know if that's gonna be a possibility anymore. But I haven't heard it wasn't. Either.
you know anything about that, whether it doesn't seem like we have an updated version of this proposal based on Kizen's 2 points that she made that were kind of important, actually. So should we wait on that? I mean, I think Kizen's out for like another couple weeks at least, if not more, but she still probably could send an email over to,
Yeah, let's get that confirmed, installed in there, and,
come back to it.
yeah.
Okay. Okay. That's all we can do, because,
Yeah, I mean, we could, if Kizen hasn't sent an email, one of us could send an email to Seth, kind of. I mean, do we feel like we can lay out their concerns? Or,
It should be part of the minutes. when
Yeah.
she spoke,
yeah,
when was that? That
if I
was
recall, that was,
14?
I mean, and it does touch on how the town share may be paid through loans or grants, but I guess in that, some language about how if we give them a large amount of a grant, then it gets sort of like calculated over time to be our share of expansion.
Yeah, I think the concern was that, that it was just not forgotten and lost.
Right.
Cause we were looking at what everyone thought was 80% capacity now, and it's closer to 60. So there was gonna be some time before there would be a reconstruction or,
Okay.
an increase. And if we were all not here, that there would be some mechanism that was set that,
It should be probably an amendment to the contract, but it
Could be.
says in there that this amendment actually covers that.
Yeah.
You know, at the time of.
I mean, it's really just a record keeping thing,
I think that's really.
that there's like something in here that
Very
says we
important as well.
keep record of, or the town and the district both keep record or something like this.
Right.
Dana, do you wanna email the attorney?
I can email Seth, and those.
Maybe even you could call Kizin and ask if she wants to, like before you send it.
I don't, yeah, I think I have Kizen's number.
I'll send it.
Yeah. Seth Kizen's
Here,
HBA. You said that was at the 14th meeting?
I didn't see it.
Would it help to send the attorney like the recording of what she said?
Or isolate it down and have Dana listen to it and then come up with her own idea about it.
I mean, if I'm gonna look through I'm looking through the minutes right now, if I can just find what Kizen said,
I don't think it's in there.
okay. But, or I can just get, or Kizen can text me a synopsis and I can send it if that is easier.
I just sent you her number.
Yeah, let's give Seth something solid. I don't want him to start doing research and
Yeah.
listening to the recordings.
That's what I.
Yeah, I don't want him to spend his time doing it.
Okay. We got that worked out?
Can you give me a really quick summary in the rate study?
It hasn't happened yet.
Alright, moving.
We're waiting on Sarah to get on there. Sean was sworn in while you were gone. And he got his, oath. We figured out what email, Nathan sent his, thing to, so that helped. That was probably the most, what we got the most.
Did he give a presentation? Community center?
A little bit on that, a little bit on us taking a NEM 700 course, which is like a communication course, I guess, for out. And then the other thing is I really want us all to maybe look at getting those salamander cards. They're like a card that if for some reason they close the town down, that we can still get back in. Next, we have designate, replacement and alternate members for the San Luis Valley Council of Governments, COG. So I think Armando was on that. I'd be willing to do it if you want. I'd have to be up to date and have it planned out when I go down there, but I would be totally willing to do it. Are you one, or what was?
I was the alternate, but I definitely, I don't have time
Okay.
to really dedicate to doing that. I mean, yeah, and it is like going down to Alamosa and
How often do they meet?
Once a month. And they require an alternate as well.
So you still be an alternate?
I can still be an alternate. Or unless somebody else I could still, I mean, it's really cool, I think we definitely need to be part of it. But I just like, I mean, I think they officially meet once a month, but they have a bunch of like other, just like we do, they have a bunch of other meetings and it's just like, I can't give.
When is the next meeting?
The meeting's actually today.
Oh, what time?
It's during this meeting.
Oh, shoot. Okay,
I've been in communication with them, they know that you're making a decision today.
okay. Well, I will do it because
Get
I,
Sean to do it.
Sean could be the alternate.
I could be the alternate.
Or you guys just jump right in. You wanna be the main council of government representative for Crestone?
I think it makes
No,
sense
for
for it to
us.
be someone who
You know,
knows what's going on.
We're just trying to, we'll just put everything on.
You'll just give Sean who everything.
That'll catch you up quick. All right, I'll do it.
Great.
But you guys gotta make a motion.
I make a motion that Benji is our rep for the Council of Governments.
Second,
Discussion, all in favor?
Aye. And
Stay the
I can
alternate.
say the alternate.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'll try to make
It's
it. Yeah, I'll try to make it. You just need to give me a heads up, like,
I mean, they're the ones who were doing like all that work on the water thing.
I know, I
and,
really
like,
think
they're, it seems really badass and I kind of wish I had more time to do it, but.
I think that it's something that the mayor should do. I know that Irina was on it for a long time.
Yeah.
But if there's meetings that conflict, then, we'll have to figure that out. Okay. Next, we have, revised the request for qualifications for engineering services, so that's in our binder. Well, the engineering services is in the binder, but revising them is not.
what's the purpose?
So we had, these two grants, we went out for RFP on engineering and Randy said that they weren't enough because we didn't include how do you say it? We didn't include that whether they can actually handle the grant and manage the grant, as being part of the bid. So,
Well, yeah, it was that, and there was also, we needed to make a decision on how far we were gonna go and not go with that. And I thought I had the right drawing board done.
But that's the next agenda item
yeah,
after Dennis, the one Dennis is bringing up is after what.
we have two. One is for. What are these? First one actually is for the,
Qualifications.
the first one I think is for the town hall. Right?
Well, the first item C, you're just looking for us to include in probably both of them,
Right.
both of the projects, that we need the engineer to be qualified to manage the grant.
Well, I don't know if, the first one necessarily needs that.
Oh, okay.
That's what I was trying to say.
To be honest with you, I don't know where we went wrong. I thought we followed the format, everything that they had given to us, and when I heard what I heard, I was surprised, other than we identified the entire proposed project instead of.
But this first one is actually for the town hall project, and we've already discussed that, but. How
I
is
only see an RFP for wastewater engineering services. And then there's actually RFQ for engineering services, but it also alludes to wastewater.
I think the RFQ was for the underground, for our town hall project, and the RFP is for the wastewater project.
I think that one of the water, and that's why people were confused, that was common.
One was for the qualifications and the other was for the project.
Yeah. So they're both for wastewater. Which is And so we need to revise the qualification request for the wastewater.
Well, to answer your question, Ariel, didn't Randy say that she was gonna get back with us and that's specifically what she wanted us to say? Yeah, I thought, that's what I heard at that workshop with her.
I think she did get back to us.
And part of that was for us to come up with a decision on what we're gonna do, how much we were gonna do.
Right. Which we decided, didn't we?
No,
I thought we were gonna expand the lien.
we had some, yes, but then we also had the concept simultaneously of seeing if we can move those monies over to Buck.
To the bottom. And
And
we're still kind of in limbo, waiting for some advice.
waiting for Randy to come back and say one was or they both was possible or not.
We really need her to pick up that call.
You remember that, right?
Yeah. We're gonna do a good job.
Maybe we have to go see her,
Where is she?
Creed.
She's in Crete, but her office is in Alton, so.
Like to her house?
Right.
Any which way.
From the captain.
Okay. You want to? I'll text her right now and just see if she's. I thought that she specifically just wanted us to add in something about the qualifications for CBDG grants that allows them to basically manage the grant.
I think that was part of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was, everything else was good, that was the only thing,
Oh, okay.
so. That's the only thing I remember.
That would allow the engineering company to manage the grant?
Mhm. Is it, there was we were trying to look for somebody to be able to actually manage the whole grant as opposed to having Ariel
Right,
do it.
and so we don't know, so the people who, we don't know if SGM would be able to do
They
that.
said they'd do it, but it wasn't in the proposal,
Okay.
so
But if we want to give that money to the Baca Water and Sand instead,
I think that's where Randy actually cut out, was when I asked her about that, she said, let's see, what was it? I'm gonna have to do research on that one, you mean as a sort of system development fee, like it wouldn't actually be spent on anything until they expand? And question mark, and I said, I'm not sure, we're going to need to go out for grants down the road to help them, so we are looking proactively.
Good answer.
But then then that was the last response, and then on October 21st, I said, Randy, I hope you're doing well, I'd love to talk sometime, can we schedule a call? No response. And then I called her,
I mean, I thought if they had improvements to make now, that it might apply to that as well.
I just don't know if they have improvements to make.
Everybody's got improvements to make.
But anyway, I guess the only thing was it wasn't spelled out in the request for the proposals, but SGM did put it in their proposal.
that they would manage the grant.
They made some reference to it. I shouldn't try to quote it from memory. But at this point, I wouldn't want to go any further unless I had 100% direction from it. I wouldn't want to do this and spend another 30 or 45 days wondering what was going on.
Yeah.
I'm just asking her if she would sit down with me and one other trustee this week. Okay, I don't know what else to say unless we just redo this and just say they need to have CBDG grant experience.
And if we do that, if we just write it in, send it to her first.
Right.
And get her head nod before we put it back out there.
Yeah, let's do that. like rewrite, because this is still an avenue that we might need to explore. So
I
we
mean,
should
is it-
continue to pursue it.
Is it a big deal with, when you advertised, did you had like, the main request for proposal and then you just advertised a couple lines in a paper?
Yeah, we're just like, it was remade.
And then come in or we'll email you the actual RFP? Okay.
And then the RFP and RFQ in full were posted in the classes.
You think we could do that again?
I think we can, like I said, I wouldn't really put it out there unless she said, okay, this is good enough, go.
I don't know why these grants are so freaking hard and so annoying.
Because it's government money. They make it hard and annoying.
So what the board is saying is that we would take the original RFP, RFQ, what is it, RFP?
Yes.
From, that we did for this engineering stuff, but add in a line that basically says they have to have CBDG grant experience. Grant, and they would, as a manager and administrator, I guess.
And our limits.
And then before we post it, you send it to Randy and say, does this look better? We'll see if she even responds to me on, I don't know what's going on with her. Maybe she's just annoyed that we're,
That we need
I think she hired someone else too,
um,
so maybe use training.
okay.
How could anyone possibly be annoyed with us?
I don't know. Oh, look, she just sent me something.
Yay.
She's like, super noisy.
You guys are so, who is this? Randy. Shoot, sorry I didn't get back to you last week. I'm aiming to wrap up street plan this week, or strat plan this week, while I'm stuck in grant hearings. With that said, I'm out until Thursday afternoon virtually. Does that timeframe work? Should I just meet with her on Friday then?
Yeah, whatever.
Whatever. Yeah,
And-
sure.
We need to talk to her about this specific issue and then also like how the grants are affecting our 2025 budget. So it might even be nice if finance committee member,
Then it has to be posted. Oh, unless one of them.
Just one.
Yeah, definitely.
yeah,
Yeah,
and I'm sorry, but one of you are
yeah.
the best ones to do it.
Depending on the day and time.
On Friday?
I'm not sure what's happening Friday, but if you schedule it, then one of us will
Okay.
be there.
Might be on the road back there, Friday,
Okay. Maybe it'll be.
depending on.
Cool, that's exciting.
Well, we gotta get something off the plate here.
Yes.
Either do it or drop it.
You can't drop one.
I hear you.
The one we cannot drop, even though, I mean, that.
But I think we're getting places with it.
I look at you because, you know,
I think you're totally lost.
yeah,
I think this thing is lost, and you should be looking at spending $120,000 and giving it back. Because I don't think you can do the grant and accomplish it.
even if we do the minimum. The absolute minimum, just the,
The one I just saw, I didn't realize you'd already decided on SGM.
we didn't decide on them,
Okay, they're over $20,000 more than Davis was.
I understand, but they,
And you've got 480,000, and you're gonna spend 120 something
an engineer,
on an engineer off the top of that. So you're down to $360,000.
yeah, we can get like 30 feet. But then we don't have to spend the 120.
You don't have to spend 120, but you don't accomplish what the grant required.
But that's why, I mean, they have to know that. We would never be, even with the amount that we had initially was given, we wouldn't be able to,
Could have done,
couldn't have done it.
that's right.
So I mean, we're already at a disadvantage, but that's what I'm gonna, if we can get it adjusted and
If
they,
you can get the money given away, is the only saving grace I see.
or do 30 feet and have them
So,
sign up.
Well, between SGM and the other engineering thing, I thought SGM was more inclusive. If I remember right. And the other thing is, I don't know how it got approved in the very first place, the scope of that project. It was like the rest of the damn town.
nobody likes the word, but I believe you thought
Oh,
it
I
was
know.
wrong, that's all.
I mean, I don't know why the state didn't see it.
Because the state doesn't anymore. And this is the federal grant,
It's silly.
Yeah.
It's silly that we have to keep dealing with it and they won't just.
We gotta bring it to some conclusion. And enough is enough.
We'll explain more later. It's been ongoing since Leslie was here. We have 3 grants that are carrying over and we're just trying to figure out how to get through them. Okay, moving along, we are on to letter of intent to join, which we've already done. Thank you, Sean, for being here. Public Works,
I don't have a report from them, but he's been submitting his timesheets, he's been working on, the project he's giving him, or Andrew has given him, they were really closely together. He did finish the rug removal from upstairs, and he's gonna give me a quote for flooring to present to you guys about that. I don't know if there's anything else.
Did you say anything about the subsurface or underneath carpet? Was that-
he said it wasn't that bad, but
Yeah, I have
I don't
some
know.
pictures to read that. Only other public works thing I think of is the boiler, was inspected in this building and the inspector broke part of the boiler, so he's going to get us new sensors and fix that. He said it was gonna happen last week, but, I just don't believe the parts came in that fast.
The inspector broke it.
Yeah, so we had to put out like actual heaters in the office to just try and keep it
I thought
warm.
it's cold in here.
Did they give you a time frame on how quickly they're gonna fix it for you guys?
He said he would have the parts and fix it, by Friday, but
Kim, do you know what, do you know Andrew and what he wants to continue to do as far as work for us? How does that work? I mean, you bring him in here to talk, but
Yeah, that'd probably be the best, get it from the horse's mouth. He's been dealing with health issues, but it seems like we had to unlock the basement for a part for the boiler, and there was nothing around, so of course, gone over and unlocked it. He does little things all the time, I don't know, like,
Nice.
antifreeze or something in a big
I mean, do
truck.
you think he would be,
He likes to be helpful, I just don't think he wants to be like.
what do you guys think about having Andrew cutting down his hours so that he's more on call, is, like, when Eddie needs him? I mean, I hate to,
Yeah, you probably need to discuss that with them. Like,
because we did talk about it only going until, I think it was October 1st. And do you guys remember what the date was?
It was October 1st.
October 1st, and now we're into, one more month and.
What I'd like to do is thinking ahead through this winter and as we get into spring and next summer of next year of, in how we're going to handle that. And will we have the finances to be able to do that? I know it's been mentioned to talking about someone as a groundskeeper, strictly doing lawn mowing, flower beds, things like that. So somehow that is all comes together for me. But maybe, let's just sit down, I have to sit down with Drew Maybe.
Maybe invite them to the
Maybe.
public works meeting?
I would say the meeting, not now.
So let's invite him and Eddie to the next public works meeting,
That's it, November 4th.
at 4 o'clock.
And we had done that once before and neither one of them showed us, but tell them that it's mandatory.
Yeah. You got that, Ariel?
Is that right before your planning commission meeting?
Yeah, but we don't have anything on the planning commission agenda that might get canceled, so
You don't have
we don't have
anything.
anything. Next, we have, is there any more on the public works, or are we good with that?
That's what we implemented a work order process for public works, so that's part of it.
They're just going through it.
Yeah, we, write it out to them, give it to them, have them sign it, and bring it back and file it.
Cool. That's great. What about spending? Do they have a thing where they, like, for purchase orders, or is that not going right now?
Kim never implemented the purchase order system. I can start doing that, but really what happens now is they come and they ask for the card. They tell us what they're going to buy, and then they bring the card and the receipt back, and then I review those and code it.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
You guys happy with that system, or do you want something even further right now?
I think it's fine for now, and then when we have a treasurer, maybe we can implement a new system.
Okay.
No,
You don't like it?
no,
You wanna
You want
purchase
a
it?
form?
yeah,
I mean,
but listen, I'm willing to compromise, you know,
Otherwise,
let's just get through this hurdle and.
For sure, I would like to talk more about how we would like that implemented, because how I've used purchase orders in the past wasn't necessarily the same. We didn't use it for just like basic purchases with the card. We did it when we were like ordering like in bulk kind of things, So I would just.
Yeah, and the reason why it got started almost a year ago now was because there was some speculation that maybe things weren't, number one, going into the right line item when they were purchased, and some overspending on some items as well.
Yeah.
The accountability again.
Yeah, so you're just looking for an extra layer of like documentation.
Yeah.
For purchases.
could be a half sheet of paper, right? A half sheet.
Well, he gave us the book, he gave us the purchase order book with all the carbon copies.
It could be a transition
Could
period.
there be a limit on the amount? Like, I mean, if you're getting something for $20,
No,
the mercantile,
no, well, you can, Mercantile doesn't bill us anyway. What I would have done if they were billing us once a month is just issue one purchase order for the entire month. And people sign off on what they, who bought what, but they don't bill us, we pay cash or card. So I wouldn't know how to remember. But work through your process and let's see what we come up with.
Anything else on public works? We, besides the fact that we're gonna meet on that Monday and get that, straightened out with the snowplow and, Andrew's time, how much time he wants to put in. Next, we have water department report, which came in on our binder. Freeze trap inspection program. The notices were sent out. Commercial sewer customers, I have received responses from several of those customers regarding their inspections and compliance. We are now working with all customers to effect proper repairs and maintenance, as well as to establish service intervals, documentation process for full implementation of our grease trap program. Any comments on that?
Brent did update me that he had spoken to all of the businesses in town. His last holdout was T Road, and it's because he reached out to the property owner, Brandon Ford, instead of Mike.
Oh.
So we made sure that he got Mike's police number and they arranged to have him inspect. There's 2 grease traps over there.
Well, hopefully this increased traffic will help start lowering our BODs. And we'll have a noticeable shift in that. BODs are the fats, solids. And
Is the bus the only place with the grease trap right now?
no, everybody's starting to get, I mean, I have one now. Mine has been sealed into the floor, so right now I have to figure out how to open it, but it's hooked up.
The reason why it's a problem is in the treatment facility, we were paying on the average of around $1,200 additional for, on our bill, in addition to the waste. So the lower we get that, the less money we're gonna spend with Baca. I don't remember the months now, I think it was September, it had been down for the first time under $1,000. But not much.
Just the awareness of it is helping.
Yes.
And
And at one point, I saw several years ago, it was around 1 month was like $2,000 additional.
Is that because it clogs their filters up or?
It's, I don't know exactly what they have to do on the treatment side of it, but it adds to what they have to do.
more pre-treatment for sure. Cause they have to take it off before they can actually treat it, so it's like a separate. But it's kind of a big deal, so now all the commercial businesses have to implement, and then we're gonna kind of isolate down and see what's.
So there's one business that had one, and then none of the other ones did.
That was original, how it was, and now everybody has to put them in. I mean, he just got it redone.
Oh, yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah. I think his was like a solid block. Anyway. Galena resurfacing and drainage refurbishment, we received a budgetary estimate from Swatch County Road and Bridge, yeah, this is what you were talking about? Or no,
Yes,
for resurfacing Galena? I don't know why is that on the water report?
I don't know. I don't even know why they came out and gave us the estimate to do it. The board didn't initiate it. They did.
Says the CU for the,
It was under $7,000. And, told them, thank you very much, and if you wanna get it done, we'll let you know.
Right.
But that initiated the conversation with them about the snow plowing and
Okay.
all the other stuff.
so now it's just, we need to talk to them about the bridge and see what they think we should get just an idea.
Sure.
Sanitary survey, CDPHE compliance has requested final edits to our sanitary survey, which was originally submitted in July. These edits include changes to the tracking page and the issue with the town's irrigation system, which was found to be out of compliance due to the improper backflow device. I've removed the meter that feeds the town irrigation, Cedar and Silver, from service, and will be working with the Public Works Committee and our public plumbing vendors to implement state compliant repairs. We plan to bring the irrigation system back online in the spring. Okay. Sensor housing installation and sewer meter calibration, Timberline Electric and Associates are tentatively scheduled for November to install the sensor housing and sewer flow meter and perform the final calibration. They will also carry out the work at the treatment plant, including repairs necessitated by the recent power failure, which caused the outflow meter parameters to be lost. We are working to have these repairs completed by the end of November so they can be submitted for final installation and repair invoices to receive the grant credits. So that's good. We'll quote on that grant. That one definitely needs to be
You're working on that now,
right today.
today.
Lead service line inventory, an important compliance task is the lead service line inventory, which is due on October 16th. That was,
Do you know if they completed that?
you must have,
This,
the
Yeah,
lead
the
service
lead
line.
service one.
yes,
Okay, so that looks like it was from last time. Winterization for fall, we were winterizing in a few days, which will include Little Pearl Park, irrigation system and museum and the water treatment plant. Museum, meter replacement this month, Chris Archuleta calibrated the newly installed and state mandated meter replacement in the museum after submitting photographs of the completed work to the state resource department. We will be in compliance regarding the museum. Timberline Electric, they're out today, or it says 17th, but today, I guess. Hydrant maintenance, we will be coordinating a hydrant maintenance and operation training with the Baca and Crestone Fire Departments, as well as the Public Works, and the dates are to be announced, and that's it for him. Any other things on water that we want to talk about? And sewer?
I have a question
Yes.
about a broken hydrant.
One that got hit? Anyone know anything about that one?
The one online, he went and repaired it, and then he also scheduled a training on the fire hydrant maintenance that, he invited most of the fire department to and, the staff as well. Cool, that's all I have.
Yeah, that's been a couple of weeks now.
Yeah, this report was originally submitted in the last meeting, but we tabled it. Everything got tabled.
Supposedly, he's also working hard at and studying for his ORC certification, so he will be a level 1, is that right?
I think that's a designation, I'm not sure. I think he's thinking about doing a test in January.
And then, according to him, we need to look at getting an ORC for our sewer system at some point, and, no,
No,
it's not something we need? Okay.
if he can't do it,
Huh?
if he can't do it. I mean, that position needs to be able to manage both.
Right, no, I'm just saying that I thought that he said that there was supposed to be but I guess it's because we only are collections, we're not, treatment.
Right.
But he was saying something about having somebody on call just in case. And that was Brett, not Brent, but Brett, and that, once he's done, like, getting through his learning process, that we could actually ask Brett to help us on call for sewer. I think that's what he was trying to do.
Yeah, I think we've established that relationship in an emergency situation. We've got a good man in here, and we can use it.
So just so Sean's aware, we have Brett and Brent. Brett is our ORC, comes from Colorado Springs, or no, Colorado Poncha Springs. And he's like a super certified, high level ORC, which is a compliance officer for water and sanitation. But we need to have someone always on staff for our water system. And then there's Brent, who's the water department head, and they work together on.
Brent is here.
Brent is here. And Brent is being trained to become an ORC so that we don't have to hire Brett anymore, but there's still gonna be an on-call relationships.
Brent's last name?
Brent Vander.
Okay.
Vander, yeah.
Sometimes we call him Gregory, because it's confusing.
Andrew, we're gonna, discuss, public works stuff on Monday at 4,
Okay.
next Monday. And that is, we're gonna go through a couple of things, so I just wanna let you know. So we really want you guys to be there. Oh, this is it. Cool.
That's 2005.
I thought there was one. What is it, the drainage report?
Ariel, did you get through that I sent you?
Yes, I know.
Okay.
Maybe, I think this might be in digital format, anyone, this is pretty detailed, it's a 2005 drainage report from Davis Engineering. Cool thing is, it's still probably very accurate.
You did?
Huh? Yeah. Cool. Shows where each fork comes. I remember seeing this in digital, but can I get to see put into digital format? No, she'll give it back to you. Or file it.
I'll put it back up in the.
Okay.
I have a quick question before we wrap up. Do you have any update on the unemployment claims?
Yeah. Not really, it's on my to-do list, for sure.
Is it something that they're on you about, or is it like,
No, it was something I brought to the finance committee, Miguel, Gretchen, and Scott are all claiming unemployment in town. In particular, Miguel and Scott had like excessive claims that have been paid out. They're not being paid from town, paid a percentage
right,
of it, but it's still high even in, from the Department of Labor, the person I spoke to, she thought like that was high. She said we could retroactively go back and appeal all of their individual claims and payments. It just takes time.
so right now we're clear though, like there's no more, no more,
There's no new unemployment claims.
I'm not, I'm saying even on those claims, like, there's nothing that we have to do
No, I just have to
if we wanna
fight
fight
them, essentially, to say,
Or,
sorry.
you know, didn't they say that they had sent us something and it had gone to a different email?
Yeah, they
So
were
we know
sending it
they got
to the Fairpoint emails, kind of like what Nathan was discussing, there are a ton of emails. And someone was using like clerk at Fairpoint and treasurer at fairpoint.net, and those were emails that we didn't have access to. I still don't have access to them.
Are they still pulling money?
They're still claiming.
And that affects
How long
us
is that?
by raising our premium or anything else?
how long does that last?
How long does it last? As long as they keep requesting money from unemployment.
So is it worth going back and, I mean, is it worth going back and appealing?
Yeah,
So we stop.
it would help to have help on that. I can get Patty to help me on it now that she's here, but it's gonna be a lengthy process.
All right, and
Both
then,
of them are working too.
yeah, neither one of them were fired.
It doesn't matter, cause, I mean, I understand what you're saying, I agree, but, the unemployment doesn't work like that, it doesn't matter if they get another job, especially because both of them are claiming a hostile work environment in their claims. That's the,
so then my other question is, if this is back to the budget, if I'm supposed to work on inputting data to come up with the structure of the 2025 draft. I guess I want to know if it's legal and okay for me to have access to Andrea and access to the QuickBooks from home. Because I could sit there at 10 o'clock and work on this.
I don't know. Probably.
Sounds reasonable.
yeah, you're.
I'm gonna go ahead and ask Lauren. What do
He's
you,
gonna say
what
no.
do you know about that?
I'm gonna bite my tongue.
Until later? Because if you're gonna stop biting your tongue later, could you share what you think of that now?
I think we should get any, and have access to any and all information you can get.
I am the budget officer.
So if you've got access to it, everybody's talking about security,
Yeah.
you're giving access to people to all of your financial information.
Right.
And I just started giving access to somebody nobody's ever even met, trustworthy, wonderful woman, to the bank accounts. Top of my head, sounds like insanity to me.
Sure.
Well, it seemed kind of strange that they don't have levels of security on the bank account, but there should be a way that you can, you know, be able to view and not, I mean, obviously you can't change things on the bank accounts.
Why not just send her the statements? Well, there's no access to the account. I mean, that would be my thought on it.
She shouldn't be able to do anything. I mean, how does that work as far as like,
So I definitely agree with
Yeah.
that. I don't think she should be able to affect any change in our bank's But having access to information, however that looks, even if it is printed reports. So if I can access QuickBooks Online as a budget officer, that seems appropriate to me. I'm not I guess I'm a signature on the bank, but I don't know anything about accessing. I don't even know, I think it's First Southwest. So I'm not interested in accessing bank accounts, I'm interested in accessing QuickBooks Online. So I can find that draft that Kim put together and modify it with our improved numbers and the improved format. And I'd like to be able to access Andrea to say, maybe for up to an hour, so I could text her and say, how do I change that, this or that?
I mean, I don't think that's a problem, I think there's ways of doing QuickBooks so that you can have, the problem is like how much, you would wanna get into QuickBooks.
Right, I don't wanna get into the profit and loss, I
Right.
don't wanna get into anything really except for, but I don't know.
She
if
did
I
send
can-
us a budget, outline, did you get that one?
No,
Okay,
like in the past 2 days or a week ago?
like, not that long ago, let's see.
We're gonna send it after the meeting.
Yeah, she sent it, it's, here it is. Budget template, here it is.
Well, and otherwise, I'm going to Ariel at 5 PM while she's also trying to do other stuff and already now working maybe 50 hours a week and saying, I guess, sign me in so I can sit in the office here and do it. And it'll be the same, like, all the things.
Why don't you just get that as a document, send that document? Because if you've got access, and I'm saying you would, but inadvertently, you
I could even accidentally.
accidentally screw up.
There should be a way from QuickBooks Online to download just
Excel.
that.
You said you've already
Excel.
done that.
And I think I actually have it here. For like,
Okay, well, if you then want to send me the Excel version of this, I can change numbers based on what the work we did. And that'll at least give us a spreadsheet, but it's not gonna be the proper budget format.
So she sent us a format, and I just tried to get access to it, it didn't, for some reason, it came up that I needed to get more access or something here, where is it?
Yeah, I think you
So I clicked on this and then it said, you need access,
Okay,
and then I clicked on request access, and then now I get to get. Point being, I think we should maybe switch eventually we should switch over to a different format,
what
a
a,
Google Sheet format or something.
under QuickBooks, I think you could get remote access, but it will be under a view, no edit. So that way, you can play with the numbers on the screen and all that, and then when you back out, it just goes back to its normal program.
Huh. Except that he needs to actually be switching, cause this came out of QuickBooks, is what you're saying?
this came out of QuickBooks as far as I know. So if she sends me the spreadsheet, I can adjust numbers, and then we'll have that raw data that, at the very least, Andrea should be at our November 6th session and somehow translate the raw data back into the proper format. But if I don't access QuickBooks, I'm not gonna be able to adjust the
I
format.
got a better idea. What if she transfers the data from QuickBooks, like?
I have the
paste it-
spreadsheet. Like I have the 2025 budget spreadsheet, Kim sent it to me, like the day after.
And is it, what is it, in sheets or what?
It's in an Excel sheet,
Oh,
and I can send it to you right now.
Sure, send it
What's your email, Adam?
to me.
J.
I don't know.
I'm sorry, J.
J A Kinney.
Doesn't it pop up?
I don't know why it doesn't. I guess we don't.
Then I
have
don't
that.
know what it is.
J A Kinney.
Kenny.com, Crestone@gmail.com.
All right, well, I'll start with that and not come into the office in the next 3 days. And then she needs to be at our November 6th session or something. And even if I can collect that or input the new data in the next 4 days, if I can email it to her and she can put it into proper format. So,
As for the access to the bank accounts, should I be giving her access?
I think you could, I think you could say, can we just send you statements?
Then, I mean, it's definitely more work on her, I just don't know, see, the thing is, it's like access include, I'm wondering if there's a way to have a secondary access that she can read stuff and not do transfers or.
It would have to be that.
We'd have to probably call the bank
Yeah.
and tell them like just tell them what's going on. And that this person needs to be able to get information that they're not authorized.
At Aventa, when Aventa was running, you could actually do that, where you actually had settings, in their settings, you could give people access to your accounts, but not, to be able to view it, but not change anything. I'm pretty sure that Southwest Title probably had, or Southwest Bank was.
First Southwest.
Probably had that option, so I'll work with you after the meeting. On that. Okay. All right, lastly, I have Mandy, she wants to either meet on Friday at 10 or 2. If it was 2, would you be able to be here?
Fine with those.
I can do it at 2.
And do you want to do it here on Zoom with her? And then we notice it as a work session?
Oh, sure, if you have more than me. Yeah.
Awesome. 10 o'clock
2 o'clock.
or 2 o'clock Friday, all right. 2,
And somebody invite, oh no, Andrew doesn't have to be there.
you'll notice it, make sure today even.
Are you ready to make a motion?
Wait 1 sec, I just want to make sure.
Can I try to call Sarah real quick to see?
Oh, yeah.
Can I give a partial, works report?
Oh, yeah, please.
Okay, both our tractors are down right now. One's down to the factory recall. Our new one, the John Deere, something to do with the front, brakes going out and causing problems, which I understand. And our other one, I don't know if we wore a pump out on it or whatever, so I'm working on that one. Hopefully it's just a pump or something. Cause we replaced some hydraulic lines on it that were leaking and maybe the extra pressure just sent the pump over the edge. And hopefully it's an external pump, cause if it has to do with anything of cracking the case, pulling the tractor in two where everything is that, I can't do that. So
So then we'd have to bring it down to trailer it?
we trailer it to one of the repair shops and see what they can do.
Is it something that we need for this year? We need one of them for this year or what?
Well, that takes us down to the truck and the ATV for plowing.
You use the green one?
We use the green tractor because we get the sidewalks and we remove the snow out and pile it off.
So the recall on that, can we bring that down quickly?
No, they said, don't take it to the dealer because the parts, they're manufacturing them right now.
Oh,
And they will call us when the parts come.
I have a question. Are you saying the tractor is not running?
Oh, it runs.
Okay, so it's on recall, but it's still usable.
It's still usable, but I just want to be really cautious with it in town, cause the problem they put there, that the brakes go out, that it loses brakes. And I don't know if it's the internal clutch package, if that's their brake, or, you know, so.
You just dropped the bucket.
Well, yeah, but, it's going to require two people when that thing's running, just to keep an eye on it. What's coming up, what's going out, you know. So, that's really all I have to tell right now.
Okay. So wait, I'm just scheduling Friday at 2 for Randy here. That's the first.
That's a finance meeting.
Finance, it's a work session, grant, called grant review.
I'm open to employment opportunities for it.
Good track.
And then will you be here? All right, will you be able to be here or, yeah?
Yeah.
I know it's, which is, we need help with the Zoom. Anybody want to listen in? Just-
What did you call it?
It's a grant review.
Methods.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
The only other thing was the thing with Sarah, it's a, she was supposed to give us a heads up, like a, report on the rate study. So she's not,
I called her, she didn't.
she didn't, I guess we're gonna have to. Any trustee reports, anybody wanna speak, or we feeling like, we can adjourn?
Make a motion to adjourn.
For a second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thanks.
Yeah, I'm interested in things that leads to the.
I know, I think we all are.
She had questions about it.
The other one?
Get out of here. Okay.
Thank you, everybody. Yeah.
Thanks for the help with, getting that brush loaded up.
Oh, yeah, no problem.
That was great.
That worked out, that was actually perfect timing, like, Matt dropped it off as, basically as Eddie was pulling up. So, it worked out great.
Dana was it okay with that living wisdom thing? Did that work out okay?
Yeah, it worked out okay, Kirsten sent me an email and Ariel and I talked about it and, yeah, I think it was fine, they just need to like communicate with us better, but us being the neighbors.
Yeah.
But yeah,
You're
it's
still
really wasn't.
recording, you're still recording. I'm trying to figure it out.
Okay.